The year was 1992. Bill Clinton was elected as the 42nd President of the United States, and Kathleen defeated Lakeland 36-14. Since then, it's been Dreadnaught domination in Polk County's biggest rivalry. Tonight, Jaquan Harrison and the Red Devils hope to break their 18-game losing streak to Lakeland. Polk County football takes center stage on the final night of the regular season. Lakeland versus Kathleen on the Bright House Sports Network Game of the Week. It's the final week of the regular season in high school football, and that means it's rivalry week. No more so than Polk County, where Kathleen takes on Lakeland, looking to knock off the Dreadnaughts for the first time in 20 years. Lakeland just ending of their own, losing their first regular season game in 4 years as Bill Castle and his Lakeland Dreadnaughts look to get back on the winning track tonight. And with that, we welcome you onto the field here at Kathleen High School. Adam Kohler alongside Jeff Carlson. Jeff, when you talk about Lakeland, you talk about the defense. The Dreadnaughts pride themselves, especially on that front seven, led by T.J. Simmons and Jalen Stevenson.
They're always good on defense, and T.J. Simmons, a leading tackler for the second straight year, filling long history of great football players on the defensive side, and he will be all over the football tonight. Also, Jalen Stevenson's unbelievable sack master, and he's going to get lots of opportunities because Kathleen runs a wide open offense, so he is going to get shots on the quarterback tonight.
Now, when you talk about trying to find a mismatch for Kathleen, maybe they can expose the Lakeland secondary because they have a very good quarterback in Treyu Ferrier and a very talented wideout in Jaquan Harrison.
Absolutely, but they're going to have to protect and be able to give him enough time to get rid of the football. Again, a spread out offense. There's Ferrier. He really can wing it around the field and make big play after big play. And then they go to the wide receiver Harrison. He doesn't get the ball a lot, but when he does, he can go the distance every single time.
And we are excited for this game. Lakeland trying to make it 20 wins in a row against Kathleen, while the Red Devils are hoping to get a big win of their own to close out the regular season. It's the Subway Restaurants Game of the Week, live on Bright House Sports Network, and we've got the kickoff coming up next.
The Bright House Sports Network Game of the Week is presented by Subway Restaurants. Subway Restaurants continue to offer.
Hey, you gotta understand something. When he say all hands on deck, that's what we mean. All hands on deck. President Obama told the country, he was going after Al Qaeda. He found them, destroyed them. The ship must sink. I'm gonna tell you why. You don't want to what?
Go to war with the soldiers, Kathleen Red Devils. I thought I told you. You don't want to what? Go to war with the soldiers, Kathleen Red Devils. I thought I told you. You don't want to what? Go to war with the soldiers, Kathleen Red Devils.
Well, how about that? We got to sink the ship, Jeff Carlson. Great motivating speech there by Irvin Strickland. It's been 20 years since that ship has sunk against Kathleen. Can they get it done tonight?
Well, I think it's a good opportunity. I mean, this is a team that Lakeland normally is just filled with superstars all over the field. They're not that team anymore now. They're still solid. They still are super technical, right? They're always where they're supposed to be, the good football players, but they're not superstar athletes anymore. So this is an opportunity to spin the ball around and see what they can do. Is keeping them loose there, I think, in the locker room is a good thing.
All right, Ryan Bass with more on how Kathleen can spring the upset tonight.
Yeah, Adam, they've had their number the last 20 years, but I talked to Coach Strickland. He said, listen, in order to beat this team, they just have to play their game. Don't think about the streak. Play some solid football and control what they can do out here on the field. To put it in perspective, none of these guys were even born yet that are playing in this game the last time they beat them. And the starting linebacker for that 1992 team, Adam, was a guy by the name of Ray Lewis.
The most famous Kathleen alum here at Red Devil Field at Johnny Johnson Stadium. You talk about Kathleen, and Ray Lewis is one of the first names that comes to mind, but that Ray Lewis team 20 years ago, as Ryan Bass said, it's been a while. These guys want to win this game. It's been so long, and I hear about it from all of these family members and friends and classmates, and here they are, Friday night, last game of the regular season. This is their last game for the seniors. No motivation is needed in a game like this. So Lakeland has won the toss. They chose to defer. Kathleen will receive the ball to start this game, and Irvin Strickland fired up for this one. Big pregame speech there, and we'll see if it pays off here in the opening drive for the Red Devils. And Polk County's biggest rivalry game is underway. The Red Devils will receive that one. Fair catch called on the 18-yard line, and that's where they'll start their first drive. So when we talk about the Kathleen offense, Jeff, it starts with the quarterback, of course, Trey Ferrier, the big seniors, having a good year throwing and running the football.
Well, he can do both exactly well. You know, he can throw the ball around. They run a very fast-paced offense. I'm not sure it's always works to their advantage to constantly get up on the ball, but it's something that he does well, and they feel better in that. But they will have it spread out. The ball will come out quickly, and we'll see if that secondary for Lakeland can stand up all night to it.
You see Trey Ferrier's numbers right there, 960 yards through the air. Has also rushed for nearly 500 yards, and he likes to work quickly. Coach says he feels more comfortable when they're running about the 15-second offense where they're snapping the ball with plenty of time left, and they start out with a throw down to about the 26-yard line. We'll get you introduced to the offense for the Kathleen Red Devils. Take a look at Ravonta Johnson, the leading running back for Kathleen, and then we'll talk a lot about Jaquan Harrison. They've got 4 talented wide receivers, 1 senior, 1 sophomore, 1 junior, and 1 freshman. And across the offensive line, Josh Mata, Marlon Brown will play both ways, Jadarius Lyons, Rashad Whitehead, and Antonio Riley. So 2nd and 2 coming up here for the Red Devils. Nice first completion to get that out of the way for Trey Ferrier. This one's fumbled, but picked up in the backfield and going to be knocked down for losses. Ravonta Johnson can't come up with anything there. We'll take a look at the Lakeland defense. The Dreadnought defense has been very strong this year, and it begins with their front 4. Sherbley Samples, Joseph Mayer, Devin Denson, and Jalen Stevenson. D1 prospect, and Trey threat in the middle, T.J. Simmons. Could be going to Iowa State or Indiana, and Buzz Williams. And then the Lakeland secondary, Brian Mitchell, DJ Alexander, Trey Dempsey, and Damon People. Big third down coming up here for Kathleen, trying to set a statement against a Lakeland defense that doesn't give up a lot of first downs. Ferrier running out of the shotgun. Again, has trouble with the snap, has some room in front, and picks up the first down as Ferrier had a couple nice running lanes there once he dropped the football and wisely decided to turn it upfield.
Well, pretty amazing to have 2 balls go like this late in the season, 10th game, but he picks it up and easily picks up the first down. Surprising that they could not get quicker pressure to the quarterback on that kind of situation, 3rd and 2. So a big first down. That's just what Kathleen needed to keep the ball out of Lakeland's hands and keep their confidence rolling.
Now, it is a cooler night, so I don't know if that's having effect on the snap. These guys are used to playing in a little bit warmer weather. The temperature could dip into the high 50s tonight possibly, and we'll have to see how both teams react to this. And this is a handoff to Anthony Ware. He really has stopped for no gain. That's a strong front line for Lakeland. We mentioned Jalen Stevenson in the open, but there's 3 seniors along that front line, and obviously they've got plenty of playing experience and they're a talented bunch, so it's going to be tough to run on this front 4.
Well, it's going to be really tough, especially if they continue to do what they did. Now, I don't know how many times we're going to see this, but they had 3 deep defenders. This is at the beginning of the first quarter. 3 deep defenders, then 2 shallow guys. So that's a kind of, you always have to run against that, and they did, but the front guys did a great job with no gain.
So 2nd and 9 coming up here for the Red Devils. They go back to the air, and that pass is dropped. They bring up a 3rd and long. Talk about head coach for Kathleen. We heard him in the pregame speech trying to motivate the troops. Irvin Strickland in his 5th year, 34-28 record. He's an alumni of the school, so he's been a Red Devil for a very long time. Back in 1991, actually played with Ray Lewis back when Kathleen was defeating Lakeland on a semi-regular basis. Now he's trying to instill that tradition, that pride that Lakeland and Kathleen have against each other here for his Red Devil squad. So 3rd and long coming up. We've got a whistle on the field.
Sideline warning, Lakeland.
After they got that first down, getting into this 3rd and long, you know, you get a short, no gain on the first down, and then you throw an incompletion on a short pass to the side, you get 3rd and 10, and this is how a quick strike type offense, if you make a little mistake, all of a sudden you put yourself in tough situations. This is going to be a hard one to pick up.
Number 13, Jaquan Harrison, is the guy that Trey Ferrier's looked to more often than anyone else on the team. The talented junior wide receiver already committed verbally to Virginia Tech. But instead they're going to swing it out to Roderick Haynes. Haynes gets about 6 yards on the play, but it's going to be about 3 short of a first down. So a decision to make here around midfield for Coach Strickland early on in this game.
Yeah, and here comes the punt team. So they don't get it, throw the ball out in the flat. 3rd and 10, very rarely, especially against a Lakeland Dreadnaught football team. A Bill Castle football team is always going to be quick enough to the football to stop a 10-yard gain. on 3rd and 10. So they get 4th and 2 here, and Lakeland will get their first shot.
All right, so back to receive the kick for Lakeland is Jaquan Foster. Ball right around the 43-yard line for Kathleen. Kind of a rugby-style kick, and Jaquan bobbles it, but he's a loose football, and right now it looks like Kathleen's saying they've got it. Big turnover there.
Absolutely. One of the reasons they do that rugby-style kick is for that reason. Now, I don't think he probably should have come up on it so as quickly as he did. Let's see. He tries to take it on a very tough hop. Now, he doesn't try to kick it that low. That's not how you normally do it. But you saw how he had to lean down in front and try to get that ball. Just couldn't secure it. Neither could.
So Foster fumbling the ball. Appeared to be Antonio Jenkins falling on it for Kathleen, but a host of Red Devils were swarming that football once it hit the turf.
Yeah, Brian Mitchell had a shot at it, but wasn't able to secure it either.
So a big play there by Kathleen. The special teams coming through. It's the unit that's going to have to come through to give Kathleen an edge on a good Lakeland Dreadnaught defense. So now it's a new set of downs inside the Lakeland 45, but knocked back right off the line of scrimmage. Anthony Ware is just smacked right there on the play by Buzz Williams.
Well, hard to understand how a guy could get through that fast and that deep on that kind of a handoff. I mean, this is a standard handoff after shotgun, but let's watch Buzz Williams, how deep he is and how hard he's coming downhill.
That's TJ Simmons, excuse me.
Simmons comes inside, straight up the middle, so that's obvious. It's a blitz. Somebody's got to pick that inside gap, A-gap up. Simmons is way too deep on first down.
Leading tackler on this team. He's got 31 tackles for loss on the season. That's also a team high. Here the quick pass out to Javon Harrison. Javon Harrison has a step and he's down the sidelines. He's into the end zone. Huge touchdown for Kathleen. Red Devil fans are going nuts on this one. 6-0 Kathleen on a huge throw and catch from Treyu Ferrier to Javon Harrison.
Adam, we saw this team against Winter Haven earlier in the season. They did not try this one time. He fakes to the left. Watch this. Quick fake to the left, spins around. Not easy for the quarterback to do that, but then it just enough gets Lakeland out of position to give Harrison the chance to get down the sideline. He finishes it off. We talked about it in the open. He can do that on any play.
Huge block by his fellow wide receiver to spring him loose on that first move, and then you saw the speed that everybody's so excited about up in Blacksburg, Virginia, because he'll be a Hokie in a few years. And that he runs a 4.45 right there. He was booking it down the sidelines. That's his 9th touchdown catch, or Treyu Ferrier's 9th touchdown pass of the season, the 5th touchdown reception for Javon Harrison, and that's a huge momentum setter.
5-yard penalty
for Kathleen as they're looking for something to end their season. They're not going to the playoffs, Jeff, so this is really their playoff game here against Lakeland tonight.
Absolutely, and you may see them go 4th and 2 or 4th and 3. They may have to do that, or may want to do that a few times tonight, just for the get the win, no matter what you have to do to get it.
So that extra point just wide right, so it'll stay 6-0 Kathleen. Let's take another look, Jeff, at this touchdown.
Yeah, I haven't seen that before, where you just, totally look to the left first. It's great because all you have to do in football, especially is the higher and the better you get, is just get the defense to move just a little bit, just a crease, and that's all Harrison needs. Takes it the distance.
Well, we keep hearing 1992, 20 years, the last time Kathleen beat a Lakeland football team, and you look in even the last 8 meetings, and it's Lakeland, Lakeland, Lakeland all the way down the lineup, and there have been some close games, but the domination for the Dreadnaughts is apparent this year.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Bill Castle has just had a phenomenal career. I mean, unmatched across the country, basically. There's only a couple guys that can even put their record anywhere near it. So Irvin Strickland's got his work cut out for him, but so far so good. Now they've got to stand up and play some defense.
Yeah, I think if you talk about Bill Castle versus any team, he's probably got some pretty good winning streaks across the board. Castle in his 37th year as the head coach of Lakeland, a FHSAA Hall of Fame coach, and one of the legends, one of the living legends here in the Florida high school ranks. He just continues to keep on producing ball clubs regardless of who's on the roster. Somehow he's able to make the pieces fit, and this Lakeland team is 8-1 as they head into the playoffs coming up next week.
Well, the difference between the two teams, Adam, is Lakeland's had some very, very, very tough wins, and Kathleen's had some very, very tough losses.
So This ball way deep in the back of the end zone. It'll be a touchback for Lakeland. There's no return on that play, so bring it out to the 20-yard line with the Red Devils enjoying a 6-0 lead. An exciting start for the fans that showed up here in Polk County's biggest rivalry game. And the Red Devil fans were excited to see that touchdown to put Kathleen out on top 6-0. Now we get a chance to see the Lakeland offense in action here with the senior quarterback being led by Isaiah Walker. Number 1 right there underneath center. And Walker will hand the ball off on the first play, picks up a few yards, but we talk about the Kathleen defense, they're pretty strong. Let's look at Lakeland's offense real quick. In the backfield, Robert Smith and Braxton Huggins, the 1-2 punch, and then out on the wings, it's Xavier Span, Jaquan Perkins, and Trenton Pearson. Across the line, Kevin Fisher, Al Donaldson, Javon Niblick, and Devontae Mackey and Blake Gill. Only one starter from last year's offense, that's Devontae Mackey. Everyone else, first-time starters for this Lakeland offense. So a lot of newcomers, but by this time in the season, week 10, these guys all have plenty of experience. So it's Walker one more time under center, and this time he's going play action. Got a man open. Xavier Span with the catch. Picks up about 5 yards on the play. Then let's look at the Red Devil defense, giving up just 11.4 points a game. It starts on the front line by Corinthian Abrams, Marlon Brown, Justin Andrews, Antonio Jenkins. Shaquille Black, Rashad Whitehead, Giovanni Richardson filling in for the injured DeAndre Owens and DeMiracle Florney. Greg Abrams, Kevin Wilson, and Tamadre Abrams lining up in the secondary. We'll have to see how much of a difference DeAndre Owens' absence from the lineup will be. He was their team's leading tackler. You gotta go. Inside linebacker Giovanni Richardson, number 34, filling in for the past few games. So here we go, third down coming up for Lakeland. It's the toss out to Robert Smith, and Smith coughs up the football. Another turnover for Kathleen. It looks like the players thought they had it, but the refs are going to say the ball was down. Take another look at this one, Jeff.
Yeah, you know what? One of the things that Lakeland Dreadnaughts have done over the years is not carry the ball out wide like that. That's exactly what I was going to say. They have been a high and tight team, well coached for so many years. That was sloppy for them, and I'm sure when they review that in film or even on the sideline right now, that is not going to work for the Dreadnaughts. They go into the playoffs, you got to protect the football, and that's what they've always been able to do.
Looked like the right call was made. The left knee appeared to be down before that ball got punched out, so they'll punt it away, and this one just not going to be touched at the 35-yard line coming up. That's where Kathleen will start their drive. We mentioned there's been a few games and a few close games in this rivalry between Lakeland and Kathleen. We'll show you back in 2004. Lakeland here taking a big lead on the Chris Griffin 40-yard touchdown pass to Eric Jean. That made it 6-3 Dreadnaughts, but then Kathleen would answer. Antoine McCray, 40-yard touchdown pass to Trevon Haggart, and Kathleen took the lead late in the third quarter, but you've heard of this guy before, Jeff. Chris Rainey for Lakeland. Check out this. He's doing this now for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but you know, back in 2004, it was all about the Dreadnaughts. That gave Lakeland a 13-10 lead, and they wouldn't cough it up as they go on to win 19-17. So a lot of future stars playing tonight, possibly a lot of NFL guys have come out of both of these programs, and we'll have to see who will shine tonight as Lakeland. Adam Kohler alongside Jeff Carlson here at Kathleen High School. Ryan Bass roaming the sidelines down there for us as we've got a good football game thus far. 6 minutes into the first quarter, it's Kathleen thanks to a big turnover. Out in front, 6-0 over the Lakeland Dreadnaughts, who are looking to continue their dominance in this rivalry game. We'll have to see as Kathleen forced a big defensive stop, and now it's their second offensive series here. Actually, third offensive series. You count the quick turnover by Lakeland there early on in the first quarter. Here we go. Trey Ferrier already has one touchdown pass to his favorite target, Javon Harrison. This one, a fumble on the ground. Ball's loose, and Lakeland picks it up. So the first play from this offensive drive is going the other way as the Dreadnaughts capitalize on some sloppy football by Kathleen.
There you go, and I talk about a good way to lose a football game. The ball's been on the ground 3 times now for Kathleen's offense, and two of them were just out of shotgun, the quarterback catching it. That's just sloppy receiving of the handoff. He just didn't secure it. That's Zinnerman, and it was in the stomach. Josh Freeman did a poor handoff this past Sunday, and that caused a fumble with LeGarrette Blunt. That was on Josh Freeman. This one is on Zinnerman.
All right, so the turnover switching the other way now. You got one apiece for both sides, and they are deep into Kathleen territory, exactly what the Red Devils didn't need. This is a big run here as they break it out down the sidelines. We've got a flag on the play, but Braxton Huggins right now with about a 20-yard pickup if it stands.
A lot of forward momentum. The whole team surged forward there.
Huggins, one of the senior running backs of this team, him and Robert Smith, the big duo in the backfield. He's got a pair of touchdowns on the year, nearly 300 yards, and this play stands, picks up a good chunk of yardage right here.
It looks like it's going to stand just by they're not moving. The referees are not moving backwards.
Personal foul, face mask on Kathleen, half the distance to the goal.
So now the ball will be around the 6-yard line, first and goal from the 6 for Lakeland, who sputtered on their first offensive series, but now they are well within striking distance for the Dreadnaughts. Take a look at this run by Huggins.
Nice hole inside. The guys up front, we talked, again, a group of unsung heroes for the offensive line, but doing a nice job on that dive, quick dive, and they get a big-time play and then tack on a few extra yards, only half the distance to the goal. They don't get all 15.
High formation, Robert Smith in the backfield, going to get the handoff, finds a hole, and gets knocked down around the 2-yard line. It appeared the ball popped out when he hit the ground, so that should stand right around the 1-yard line is where the officials are going to spot it.
It was close, though.
A couple balls popping out in this game.
Imagine this, the home crowd doesn't like the call. The home crowd not too happy about that.
Let's see if the officials got this one right.
For us
so far,
to
they've
see.
been pretty good tonight.
Oh, yeah, the ball caused, actually, I'd say that's a touchdown.
It looked
He
real
put his
close.
hand, the reason the ball came out was because he put the ball over the line, over the goal line, and his body wasn't down on the ground. Show that again in slow motion, please. I'd love to see that one more time. I think he scored.
Here we go, second and goal. We'll have to see if they can make that a moot point as this one's the handoff into the end zone. Big touchdown there for Lakeland. They answer the bell right there as they come back. As it appeared to be Booker Green there on the touchdown.
Kathleen handed that touchdown to them. The fumble, they have got to secure the football and just know that it's too important.
Excuse me, Radon Dwight on the touchdown. Let's take one more look at this one.
Look at this actually, I thought it was just going to be straight ahead blocking, but they pull the left guard around. He cleans it up and makes a nice, easy run in for the touchdown.
Whistles blow before the extra point, and take a minute to see what they're figuring out.
Set dead ball, illegal substitution on Kathleen.
All right, so they'll just inch that a little bit closer here and make it a chip shot for Caleb Ho, the kicker for Lakeland. Third year as a kicker, and a guy that originally tried out as a wide receiver for the team, and coach said, you know, we need you as a kicker, son. So for the last 3 years, he's been kicking the football, and coach says he trusts him out to about the 40-yard line for 40-yard field goal. But Lakeland doesn't kick the ball a whole lot. They've got that run game. And
on Lakeland, half the distance to go. On Kathleen.
They don't need to kick more than 40 yards very often.
Take one more look at that touchdown run as Don Dwight gets a big run here. We'll watch the extra point. And Ho knocks it through the uprights. So just like that, Lakeland up 1-0. And the Dreadnaughts back on top thanks to a key turnover by Kathleen.
Al Donaldson was the guy I was talking about, the left guard that pulled around and finished it up, cleaned it up, and gave an easy walk into the end zone.
Well, let's head down the sidelines where Ryan Bass is with the Kathleen band.
Hey, Adam, yeah, it's been a very emotional week for this Kathleen band. They lost one of their senior band members, Stephen Altman, this week on Sunday in a motorcycle accident. The team has been distraught all week, so they're honoring Stephen with shirts. They're all wearing these Superman shirts that say March On to honor their fallen band member. The team also dedicating their halftime show tonight to Stephen, so it's been a very emotional week for them. The family doesn't have enough money to put on a funeral, so they're asking for some donations. You can contribute by donating to the CCOs on 98th. So you can give to a great cause, and you can see all these band members rallying around their fallen guy tonight. Adam.
All right, thanks, Ryan. A heavy heart there for the Kathleen band. And again, if you do want to make donations, that's CC's Pizza on 98 North in Lakeland, or you can even contact Kathleen and ask to speak to their band director, and they'd be more than happy to direct your donations to help the family out in this tough time.
Got a number of over-eager Lakeland Dreadnaughts on that kickoff, so they'll back it up 5. But Kathleen, there's Irvin Strickland. He has got to get his guys to feel how important controlling that football is. One of Lakeland's successes, not only is the fact that they've had great athletes through the years, they are well coached. They do not fumble the ball. They don't turn it over, and that is a big key for being successful.
So the kickoff here, this one goes out of bounds. It'll be a great field position to start this drive for Kathleen, as they'll put it out to the 35-yard line. So Kathleen, you've mentioned the ball control. They've dropped 2 snaps. They had a fumbled exchange, and it appears that, I don't know if it's the weather, if it's a colder football, or just nerves going on, but we've seen the football put on the turf by both teams quite a few times early on in this game.
Illegal procedure on Lakeland. They're going to re-kick.
Well, that's 2 in a row. I talk about being disciplined and not making mistakes, and they're going to make me eat my words here. But you cannot put the ball on the ground like Kathleen's done. So they're going to get an opportunity to get pretty decent field position, and then they're going to have to be consistent with it.
You got Jaquan Harrison back there to receive the kick. His heels are just about at the 20-yard line, so if he can do anything with it, they'll have great field position to start here for Kathleen's 3rd drive of the day. Good crowd here tonight, as these two schools just 4.5 miles apart. It's been a rivalry for decades and decades, as all these players and fans and classmates all grew up together and either went to one high school or the other. So these players know each other extremely well, and you can bet they'll hear about it throughout the year if they win or lose. Jaquan Harrison receives the kickoff here. Runs into his own guy and bounces off him down to the 40-yard line. He's got a beat. Cuts across the field down to the 45 of Lakeland, and they'll bring him down there. Nice return there by Jaquan Harrison. 34 yards for the junior wide receiver, who already has a big play to give Kathleen their first touchdown of the game.
Yeah, what you like, he just looks bigger than everybody. He's just stiff-arming guys. Watch him take this. I think it's at least 1 stiff arm. He might have gotten 2. Well, this one's not really, just pushing off his own guy, but that's right here. He pushes around there, gets around the corner and back inside. They got to get it in his hands more often. Just more often as a team. They got next year, I guess, to do it. They got to get in his hands more.
So they'll start in Lakeland territory here, 1st and 10 from the 45-yard line. Farrier in the shotgun, gives it off to Ravonta Johnson, who picks up a few yards on the play, running right into the middle of that Dreadnaught defensive line.
Johnson's just a little football player, but man, big heart, big hustle. And last time we saw them, he had a big touchdown run. See if he can't break another one. He'll be looking for it.
You know, we saw with the Bucks game a running back with that small stature in Doug Martin, and you know, comparing these smaller backs, he's the strongest guy on the team, much like Martin is with the Bucks. So pound for pound, this guy can match up with anybody, and sometimes as a running back, it can actually work to your advantage.
Well, that run I'm talking about, he ran over somebody on the way to the end zone. He doesn't do that all the time, but he can.
So Farrier going to the air and throws it right into the hands of a Lakeland defender, and that one is picked off. Trey Dempsey taking it down the sideline before he waltzes out around the 48-yard line. Tough pass there for Farrier. So it hit 31 right in the numbers, and that ain't good when you're wearing the other jersey.
Well, especially the fact that Dempsey wasn't anywhere near a receiver. This one just came off Farrier's hand wrong because it's way out in front. He's nowhere near the receiver. And you saw how far away. There was nobody in the screen, so Dempsey gets an easy one there. Farrier's got to be more careful with the football. That's what we're talking about, just ball security. And right now, Kathleen's being loose with it, and Lakeland's taking advantage. They get the ball on the plus yard line, 49-yard line.
Got to wonder if the Red Devils are pressing at all just because they want to win this game so badly. It is their final game of the regular season. You've seen some nerves here early on from the offense of the Red Devils, and now it's up to the defense to try to keep this one close.
Farrier's a pretty good passer, and I'm surprised that he was that far off target on that particular play. He's just trying to find the inside receiver. I think that, you know, a team, they do a lot of static looks and getting a little bit of motion, one way to open up instead of just allowing Lakeland to double cover basically Harrison, their best receiver. They set him off by himself, and then they just put 2 guys over there, put him in motion, put him on as a different receiver so that they can get some cleaner looks for him.
Got play action here for Walker, who dumps it down to his running back, Braxton Huggins. picks up about 8 yards on the play. But yeah, you talk about Ferry. He's a guy that hasn't thrown a lot of interceptions on the year. He's only thrown, that was his 5th of the year, so obviously doesn't get picked off too much. Pretty cautious with the football, but this one here is giving it right back to Lakeland. We have a flag on the play.
Yeah, the first one came down, and then a second one came out like 10 seconds later, so that's usually a second foul, but we'll find out about that. This is going to be a post-play dead ball type foul, personal foul. But Huggins did a nice job snagging that ball. It was
During
behind
play,
him.
a block in the back by Lakeland's 10-yard penalty. At the end of the play, there's a dead ball, personal foul, Kathleen, 15 yards.
So that personal foul should give Lakeland a first down as the Dreadnaughts capitalize on the dead ball turnover. Another one of those errors that you hope Irving Strickland could have his players avoid, and one of those penalties that he is very upset about.
Look what just happened. You had a holding penalty, which is a very bad play in high school because it goes from the spot of the foul, nothing, and then a 15-yard penalty because of the post-play foul, dead ball foul.
Once again, Lakeland benefiting from some errors by Kathleen, and they'll try to give the ball off one more time to Braxton Huggins, who just, you see him move, and he just pushes the pile forward as that one picks up about 10 yards, close to a first down. Looks like he'll be just about a yard shy.
See, Huggins looks huge, but he's only 5'9", 180, but he is carrying everybody down the field.
Well, you can't mention Lakeland without Bill Castle. We've mentioned 37 years as the head coach here. Check out that record, 369-74. He's great when they get to the playoffs. He's a 6-time state champion. How about this record, 59-19 in the postseason? When you talk about legendary coaches, not just in Florida, but across the country, Bill Castle's name has to be in the conversation.
Well, not only does he have multiple state titles and runs of state titles, but he's done it in 3 different decades, and that's what's the most impressive to me.
He's actually got the most playoff wins all time in the Florida High School Athletic Association, 3rd most, excuse me, there. And he's going to be in the playoffs one more time this year, as they'll be on the road to start the playoffs because they did lose their final regular season game, the Ridge Community, so they'll have to hit the road next week to start their playoff run. But you talk about Lakeland, and every year it seems like they're undefeated in the final few weeks of the regular season. And Ridge Community actually beat them in the regular season for the first time since 2007, so they broke about a 49-game regular season win streak last week.
Well, I just saw that. He won in 86, the state title, 96, 2006. So I'm wondering, will he stay on to 2016? Because that one's in the bag, right?
That's right. That's right. Every 10 years, you can guarantee a Lakeland state title, it seems like. Just an impressive program, and it doesn't matter which players. He's been blessed with a lot of great players that have gone on. We mentioned the Pouncey twins both played there, and Ahmad Black played at Lakeland. And a lot of talented players to go on to the NFL. And this year, you don't see the star power on the Lakeland team. You don't see those top flight, SEC football players. But still, he's gotten him to buy into the system, to play the way that he's always played the game. And here we go with another strong run for Lakeland as they just continue to pound the football. This one, Ron Dwight picking up big yardage there.
And look, another little guy, but watch Dwight. He runs with forward lean and 2 hands on the ball. Watch as he comes through. Got his 2 hands on it now. Watch as he starts to get traffic again. Look at him cover that up, but look at the forward lean and the push. He gets an extra 5-6 yards because of it. Great technique.
Don Dwight just a sophomore, so he will be seeing the bulk of the carries next year as the other 2 running backs will be graduating. And coach not afraid to give it to him here early in this game as he's lined up in the backfield one more time. Gets the carry near the goal line, and Dwight brought down just about at the 5-yard line.
That was a good defensive play right there. DeAndre Owens does a nice job getting into the backfield.
So Owens apparently is back on the field. He had been battling an injury for the past few weeks, and Giovanni Richardson had started in his place. But hey, last week of the regular season, if you're Owens, might as well give it one more go. He leads the team in tackles. He doesn't want to go out on the bench. You got to admire the courage. I'm sure he's playing hurt to be out there and giving it all here in his final game in high school career.
The amount of hours and the effort you've got to give to play high school football, you want to be out there to the end.
That's Dwight winning the race to the pylon as he gets in there for the touchdown flag on the play. Looks like it could have been a face mask, but he was clearly winning the race over there to the pylon. Great speed there for Dwight on the Lakeland touchdown if it stands.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. I think you were right, Adam.
Holding on Lakeland.
Or not. Bad call, Adam. You messed that up big time.
I need my binoculars up here. So
well,
this
it was
one
right there.
coming back.
It had to be right there on the goal line because the ref was looking right as he's getting ready to score. Dwight's ready to go into the end zone. Let's see right in front of it. It's got to be 54 right there.
54,
oh, that is not a hold. That's a tough call. That should be a touchdown for Dwight.
So lucky break there for Kathleen, and they'll march this one back out to the 10-yard line. And coming up, it'll be Lakeland having to refigure what's going on here. They thought they had a touchdown. Dwight had plenty of space in front of him, but the call doesn't go their way, so it's still a 7-6 game for the moment.
New penalty called the push. Usually, I mean, that was so far away from the play, and it was just a push and didn't even pull his shoulder back. Tough call.
Their second and goal from the 10 after the penalty. Braxton Huggins, lined up in the backfield. Will fake the play to Huggins, and Walker will take it himself, picking up about 4 yards on the play down to the 6-yard line.
Haven't really had a chance to talk about Walker too much. He's a senior, little guy, but he's a good football player. He's been able to run this offense pretty well. Hasn't been asked to do a lot. See the rushing yards, 500 yards on the ground, 7 yards of carry is pretty nice. And 9 touchdowns on the ground is not bad either.
Yeah, first-year starter at quarterback. So, holding this offense and keeping them to an 8-1 record, you've got to compliment the senior for being able to step right in and just keep Lakeland tradition alive. And now Walker rolling out to his right. We'll see the arm here as he throws it in the back of the end zone. And that ball's caught. Touchdown for Lakeland. Nice throw and catch there. And coming up with it is Jaquan Foster.
Just as we're talking about him, he does a nice job of being very patient. He wanted it earlier. Let's take a look. See, it looks like he was going to go for it early. Waits, finds him in the back of the end zone, does a nice job putting it on him.
Big catch there by Jaquan Perkins, his second touchdown of the year. 18th catch on the season, now has over 200 yards. Thanks to that play right there. And Lakeland up 7, looking to make it 8 with this extra point. That one through. So an 8-point lead for Lakeland just about the end of the first quarter. Big strike there as they capitalize on another turnover by Kathleen. Another touchdown coming up for Lakeland.
I'll tell you what, Lakeland's playing with some pretty good emotion too. We're talking about Kathleen in their last game of the regular season, but Lakeland's happy, and I was watching Walker there after the play. While this is going on, he is really doing a lot of celebrating, and so they're playing with enough of emotion as well in this game.
Yeah, we asked Coach Castle, do these players consider a rivalry? Because year in, year out, they always beat them, and it doesn't seem to be a whole lot of back and forth. And he said he wondered about that. He wondered if his players really knew what this game meant for both sides, and clearly they're showing with their play that this game, even though they've made the playoffs, even though this game statistically won't mean a whole lot for their seeding, they're coming out here and they're giving it everything they've got.
Well, when you've got teams that are close to each other, the kids have played little leagues coming up, and then they split off when they go into their junior highs or into their high schools, so they all know each other. So no matter what, it's about bragging rights.
Of course, for Kathleen, this is the end of their season either way. So all the seniors on this team certainly want to end this ball game with a win, and Kathleen will see if they can protect the football here on this drive with 7.5 seconds left in the first quarter.
Yeah, you said that right. They've got to catch the ball from the center, and they've got to secure the handoffs beyond anything else. And Ferrier's got to make sure he's smart with the football. Cannot just fling it out there, especially those inside routes. The inside routes have linebackers and DBs behind it, so you've got to be right on accurate so that the ball that just happened before won't happen again. Put it on the guy's shoulder, right in the middle of his chest, especially on those inside balls.
Should be the final play of the first quarter, barring any penalty. They'll hand the ball off, and no gain really on the play as that Lakeland defense is all around it as the clock winds down. So 13-6 is your score after 1 quarter of action. Lakeland out on top thanks to some big turnovers by Kathleen. Can the Red Devils 13-6 Lakeland here at Johnny Johnson Stadium as the Dreadnaughts have capitalized on a few Red Devils turnovers to take a 14-6 lead as we get ready to start the second quarter. Kathleen football right around their 20-yard line. So Trey Ferrier, second down coming up. 2nd and 10 for the senior, who has thrown that one interception on the last drive. They trying to run the football thus far and establish the ground game, but so far the Lakeland defense isn't having any of it. Another drop snap, and that one just barely getting the handoff to Anthony Ware. That's the 3rd drop snap we've seen, Jeff, so far in this game.
I can't believe it, you know, that this late in the season we're dropping the snap off the center snap. It's either too hard or something, but it's the 3rd one. And in the first quarter, obviously rushing yards for Lakeland stands out, but 2 turnovers for Kathleen, and that's the reason we're looking at a 14-6 game.
Tonight's statistics are brought to you by Baycare Sports Medicine, whose doctors and trainers can help you become the athlete you want to be. Learn more at StrongerFasterBetter.org. So just 5 yards rushing for the Red Devils offense thus far. Haven't been able to get that going on the ground. And they have, like we've said, 4 very talented wide receivers, and they like to spread it out. And here we're going to see that on 3rd down. Spread them out, and then Ferrier's going to pull it down and run. Slings that ball away, so it'll be 4th down coming up. Poor Kathleen just didn't have anyone open.
Well, he didn't like it from the very beginning. He didn't really give the pass play much of an opportunity. He took off running, was hoping to find something. He kind of ran into his own blockers and then ended up throwing it away, not to take the loss of yardage. But just not. He doesn't seem comfortable right now with what's going on out there. And right now they keep running on 1st and 10, not getting anything with their 1st down run, and then it puts a quarterback in a little bit worse situation. And then they put the ball on the ground on the shotgun snap half the time, so it messes up their timing there. So they're just not in sync right now, and it's the last game of the season. So
that high snap pulled down, another rugby-style kick. And that'll go out of bounds around midfield. We'll spot it on the 50-yard line. Let's take a look at it across the area in our Bright House Sports Network Top 20 poll. Lakeland Dreadnaughts checking in at number 8 with that 8-1 record. And when you look at a lot of these teams, obviously focused on the playoffs for next week. Anybody out there, Jeff, stand out to you as really big-time state title contenders? Obviously, you know, you look at the top in Manatee and Plant.
Yeah, I mean, well, they're always good up there. Pasco's still really, really good. They've dropped it in the regional finals, it seems like, recently, but they're top tonight. Plant and Largo's right there, and they are solid. If they have enough stamina, they are a title contender.
Tell you what, next week's going to be a heck of a game. It's going to be Armwood at Largo, 2 terrific programs. Armwood's, you know, fallen on some hard times so far this season with some tough losses, but man, Armwood and Largo is going to be one of the best games that you'll see all year. And that's a tough 1st-round draw if you're Largo.
Largo's going to win that game. I mean, I'm here. I'm going to call the game, so I'm already saying it. But Largo is that'll just get that. By me saying that, that's going to get Armwood all feisted up. But Largo, we've seen them twice, and they're just extremely impressive. If they have enough guys on the sideline to keep coming in and not get tired, they're a solid group. Coach Rodriguez.
Better hope Coach Callahan didn't hear that.
I'm sure somebody's going to pass it along.
We'll have to see, but that should be a very, very entertaining contest next week as we kick off the FHSA playoffs and take you all the way from the
delay
first
game
week
on offense, 5-yard penalty.
all the way from the first week of the playoffs to the state championship. Will be right here on Bright House Sports Network, and we're excited about bringing to you all those games leading up to the state championship. So it'll be Lakeland football here coming up off the punt.
About all the quarterbacks that Coach Castle has had under his arm right there. As you see Walker go in as a senior. Many, many young men now, gosh, old men he's coached.
37 years when you've been doing it that long.
Yeah.
You got guys come back and coach for you, and you see all sorts of fellow alumni coming back to watch the Dreadnaughts play. So 2nd and 13, Lakeland hand the ball off, and this time the Kathleen front 4 stacks him up and knocks him back. Let's check in with Rock Riley, a studio update between another rivalry game, Robinson and Plant.
Yeah, this is always a good one, guys. Now 4th and 2, and this is Robinson, their quarterback, Zane Gilmore, and he's going to hit Justin Madison, 14-yard score. 6-3, though, right now, Robinson in front. Guys?
All right, Robinson on top of Plant. Another good game there. We've got a good one here. 14-6 Kathleen. Lakeland just 1 of 2 on 1st downs. This is a 1 of 2 on 3rd downs. 3rd and long coming up here. And they'll roll them out to the right as Walker Really doesn't have much there, and it'll be a punting situation coming up for Lakeland. So 1 for 3 on third downs for both sides, as the defenses have really held strong, even though Kathleen's been put in some tough situations with some turnovers in their territory. Nice stand there by the Red Devil.
Well, we got to say Demerico Flournoy did a nice job stringing that out, making it 4th and long. So they got the ball outside, but he was right on top of it.
So Caleb Howe also handling the punting responsibilities. This one down off the returner, but able to scoop it up there. Marquise Zinnerman is going to get it down to around the 17-yard line as he kind of flirted with disaster there on the punt return.
He definitely made the best out of a bad situation, the situation that he made bad for himself, but he got it back out to the 17, 18-yard line, so that was good. Now they have got to get something happening on first down. They've run it 3 or 4 of the last series. On first down, they've got nothing. They have got to come up with something that gets the ball outside, not right up the middle, which is what they've been doing. They got to get this guy the ball, and they're probably going to need to put him in motion, but I don't think they're going to. They set him by himself, and then all that Lakeland does is you see 16 and 5. They are over here. This is double coverage. Basically, you really can't throw it to the single receiver with cover 2 to that side. So they're setting him up to not be able to get the ball very much.
So Trey Ferrier back at it again. He's going to look Harrison's way, throw it up, and there comes the safety help over the top. A little late hit. Ref looking for his flag and decides not to throw it.
He should have thrown it. That was unneeded, uncalled for, and there's a rule. It's called unnecessary roughness. So let's watch it. So he does exactly what I said he shouldn't do. Throw into double coverage. See, he's already got him. He's got him over the top. That is unnecessary roughness. It's a 15-yard penalty. Referee needs to pull his flag out of his pocket. He reached for it, was digging around for it. Oh, I can't find it in my pants. I guess I won't throw the flag. But that's a bad hit. But good coverage. DJ Alexander there with the extracurricular activity, and we mentioned Harrison. He's got the big play so far for Kathleen on the touchdown reception, and just one of many receivers that has come through this program. And Harrison one more time, a little throw and catch, good for a few-yard pickup. But yeah, Javon Harrison, just the latest of the Kathleen Red Devils to go on and get a BCS offer. Obviously, he's verbally committed to Virginia Tech, just a junior, so he'll certainly have time to mull that decision over. But check a look at even the last 4 years of guys that have gone on to the next level, beginning with T.J. Lawrence, Marcus Cunningham, Jaquez McElroy, and now Javon Harrison. A lot of good, talented athletes on the outside for Kathleen over the year. Yep, absolutely. But now they're trying to force it to him. Again, they ran a hitch on second down. They were able to get 4 yards out of it, but with the cover 2 over the top of it, now they got a single receiver. Now this is when you throw it to your best receiver. Let him go one-on-one.
So he looks the other way this time and able to find Marcus Zinnerman, but that's not going to be enough for a first down as we drop down the 5-yard side of the stick. So punting situations coming up for Kathleen as they're now just 1 of 4 on third down conversion.
And extremely well covered by DJ Alexander over there. Another senior. We're going to keep talking about the seniors. They had big senior night for Kathleen. All of the parents that support the band members and the players on the field got honored before the game, but he did a nice job making this 4th down stop.
Junior Mata out to kick for Kathleen. Mata just a sophomore, but you can see he's got that rugby style kick down and taking off the bounce. Lakeland's going to be dropped right around the 38-yard line as Jaquan Foster couldn't do too much after that punt. Hey, the road to Orlando has begun as teams from across the state compete for the chance to make it to the state championship at the Citrus Bowl in Orlando. Tickets start at just $12. For more information and to purchase your tickets, check out www.roadtoorlando.org. And as we have mentioned, those games will all be televised live on Bright House Sports Network. So if you're a fan of high school football, check us out come December, because there's going to be some great games played at the Citrus Bowl this year. All right, Lakeland with a huge run to start off this series. Braxton Huggins just picking up big chunks of yards. You know, he came into this game as really the number 2 running back behind Robert Smith, but tonight Huggins has been the man to get the big carries.
Yeah, he's that fullback inside. Again, he's not very big, but boy, he runs well and runs hard. Lots of big pickups.
Huggins actually helped seal the win against Kathleen last year, a big touchdown late in the game to put them up by 10. So he knows this rivalry, and he was on the winning end of it last year thanks to a big play by the senior running back. 1st and 10 now inside Kathleen territory, and they continue just to rotate their stable of backs. Raiden Dwight this time getting a handoff, cutting it upfield for about a 4-yard gain. And Lakeland, once they have that lead, you know, Bill Castle likes to run anyway, but he's not going to take any chances here as he continues to pound the football.
We talked about the great players that have come through Lakeland and the Pouncey brothers, and size, you know, they're not that big across the board. They've never actually been the biggest football team in the world, but there's a guy up front, Jonathan Nyblack, number 70. He is 6'2", 375 pounds.
That is a large center. He snaps the ball, and he certainly can get in the way of a lot of different guys. You can see big number 70.
I like the quarterback sneak behind that.
Barely fits on the widescreen there, but another handoff here to Braxton Huggins. And he's one of their anchors on the line, and just alongside him at right guard, Devontae Mackey, the only guy on this team to really start last year for the Dreadnought offense. And I don't know if that just speaks as a testament to just how deep this Lakeland program is that a lot of times you don't start until you're a senior on this team.
Well, that's the way it used to always be, you know, but now they're asking freshman quarterbacks and different things to play, but it's tough when you have a very good program. Usually you got to wait your turn.
Another 3rd down coming up here from Lakeland. And we've got a timeout called by Bill Castle as he wants to talk this one over. With 5 minutes and 41 seconds, it's Lakeland 14, Kathleen 6. 3rd and 4 coming up here for the Dreadnaughts. And take that back, not a timeout for Lakeland. We got a water break. So these guys will take a breather, and we will take a break as well. And welcome back to Kathleen High School. Adam Kohler alongside Jeff Carlson, our 3rd man on the field down there. Ryan Bass patrolling the sidelines. And we've got a big 3rd down coming up here for Lakeland. 3rd and 4. Kathleen desperately needs a stop as the Lakeland Dreadnought offense just keeps churning away with that ground game. Thanks in part to Braxton Huggins, who once again is lined up in the backfield alongside Isaiah Walker. Looking to try to get an offsides call, and the hard snap count didn't fool anyone for Kathleen, and Bill Castle will now take that timeout that we thought he took over the water break and draw up maybe a real play coming up here.
Yeah, it's pretty common in high school football to do it this way. You know, go ahead and take the timeout. Like just have a play call, reset, and then go, and then you actually can catch them off guard if you do the fake and then get set and go with the next play without taking that timeout. But either way here,
he had a few timeouts to burn before the half. So.
Sure.
Talk about Lakeland, and you know, an 8-1 record a lot of teams would take, but really Lakeland losing in the regular season isn't something that they're used to. And certainly not losing to a Polk County team, as last week's loss to Ridge knocked off a few of those streaks. Their first Polk County loss in '03, first regular season loss since 2007. It'd been 49 straight games in the regular season they'd won. And all these games have been close this year. You know, their 4th game decided in overtime, or the 4th quarter with less than 3 minutes to go. And Isaiah Walker said, you know, he felt bad about the way last week's game ended because it was a pick 6 with less than 3 minutes to go. It was returned about 80 yards for a score for Ridge, and up until that point, it was a 0-0 deadlock game. So Coach said Walker took it pretty hard, but he really bounced back in practice this week, and now here he is throwing the ball up. And nice throw, but Trenton Pearson just not able to climb the ladder and pull that one down as Walker throws his first incompletion of the game.
Yeah, he made a good enough throw to pick up the first down, just didn't make the catch.
Pearson, more of their blocking tight end. Surprised that he was the option out there. Sherrod Sadlers is typically the guy they look to through the air, but Pearson there just off the fingertips, and it'll be 4th and 4 coming up for Lakeland. It doesn't look like they're ready to punt it all, does it?
You know, when you run as hard as they do, you come up with that play action, and you just have guys open. He was. Walker did a nice job putting it on him.
So they're going to go for it here on 4th down. We'll see if the Kathleen defense is up to the challenge here. Their first time they're attempting to go for it in the game here on 4th. Got to get it down to the 34-yard line. Maybe Walker rolling out. And now he's going to pull it down to try to make it, but nice stop there defensively. Giovanni Richardson coming up with a big tackle and giving the ball back to the offense for the Red Devils.
Well, Walker tried to make it himself, but he had the receiver, ran the little out route just at the sticks, could have put it on him, decided he was going to get it with his feet, and Walker, great job. Flournoy there too. Watch him just chasing him down. Boom. He thought he was going to get to the sticks, couldn't get there.
Nice play by Giovanni Richardson there as he comes up with a huge stop. As Kathleen needed that. You talk about 5.5 minutes left in this half. See if the Red Devils can turn the momentum now offensively.
New look formation for Kathleen. Three wide receivers all way out here wide to the left.
I'm just trying to spread out the secondary a little bit. The handoff to Ravonta Johnson doesn't get a whole lot. Maybe knocked him back a yard.
Yeah, really. So it's a trick formation that does nothing, and you just hand the ball inside, and all the same guys are inside. And when you put all three receivers right next to each other, you can actually get away with one less defender. Unless they go deep and really start and have a long drop back where you let the guys separate. When they're next to each other, they're easy to cover. So I'm not a big fan of it. And obviously they just ran out of it, got nothing out of it again on first down. Another run that goes nowhere.
So Javon Harrison down at the bottom of your screen, but they're going to hand it off to Anthony Ware. And Ware just again pushed back at that pile. About 7 yards of rushing offense thus far for Kathleen in this game, and it's not going to get it done a lot of nights.
It's not going to get it done any night. Not in Polk County football. Yeah, they're just not moving the ball on the ground at all, and so far have not been successful through the air.
Now you got another 3rd and long. They're just 25% on the night in their 3rd down conversions. So we'll see if they can pick this one up, almost forcing their hands where you have to throw the ball. And got to check out number 13, as always, is at the bottom of your screen. Doesn't even show up here.
But he's one-on-one. You got to throw it to him. I don't care what route he runs.
And flags on the play. Looks like it's a false start coming up here for the Red
Dead
Devils.
ball, encroachment, Lakeland.
0 for 2. 0 for 2 tonight, Jeff.
Well, here the program is, if they double cover the guy, you got to go away. When they give you the single coverage, you've got to have either a hand signal or something and get him on a one-on-one play and throw it to him. Don't try to throw it when he's double covered, as we saw earlier. He took a really bad shot out of bounds. But when they give him single, now they're doubled. They're over the top of him.
The guy in the slot that looks like.
But look how they're doubling outside here, and then a bad snap
gets away from him, and he's just going to have to fall on that football. And he finally does around the 5-yard line. And tough snap. He's had problems all night. Ferrier has with the football, and that one really cost him his team. It's going to be 4th and a mile, and they're going to have to punt the ball.
The difference between this one and all the others, all the other ones hit him in the hands. This one was about 2 feet or 3 feet to the side, and really at about 100 miles an hour. So it went rocketing back. And you see, I'm not sure what Coach Strickland's looking at. I was looking at double coverage over there to the left side.
Yeah, that's a tough snap. Jadarius Lyons, the center there, really didn't give him a chance to get that football as it bounced right at his foot on the line, as you said. So we got another punt coming up here for Kathleen. Should be great field position for Lakeland. That ball picked up by one of the upmen here on the punt return formation. He dropped down around the 43-yard line, just trying to do too much with it. But
good. TJ Alexander did a nice job picking it up. I don't think that was the smartest thing to do on that kind of a run, because that's how they got their turnovers. We talked about that punt return.
Yep.
When you try to catch it off that short little pop, all of a sudden it hits your hands funny and you drop it again. He was able to clean it up, but didn't get anything out of it.
Well, we've seen some problems with the snaps, and maybe Ryan Bass can fill us in on what's going on there with the quarterback-center exchange.
Yeah, and Coach is talking to Treyu. Coach has said he's too busy looking downfield instead of looking at the football. He's saying the ball's coming into his hands, and he's fumbled the snap about 4 to 5 times already in this game. So Coach is just saying, hey, listen, calm down, look for your receivers, play your game, and just watch the football as it comes into your hand.
That last one, tell the coach that the last one had nothing to do with Ferrier. He could have, I guess he could have secured it the first time when he went back to go get it.
That's Isaiah Walker picking up about 15 yards on the play as he faked the handoff and then just pulled it down himself. Walker can run. The senior has about 560 yards rushing going into this game, and certainly is not afraid to pull the ball down and run. As you can see right there, he's pretty good in open space.
Big calling plays for, I wonder how many, he's got all those wins. How many plays has he called to get 369 wins or whatever number that was?
I'll let you do the math on that one.
Thousands of plays he's called from the sidelines.
400 the ball's loose there. It kind of popped out there right in the scrum. Kathleen appears to have the football. Take a look, and it appears to be covered by Antonio Jenkins. The refs are going to sort out the pile, but a lot of black jerseys there on the bottom of it. Big turnover for Lakeland if it stands, and that's the way it looks. It is Jenkins on the bottom of that pile.
I am just shaking my head at the quality of these two football teams and the sloppiness of this first half. The ball is out, has been out and on the ground as much as it's been in anybody's arms. You know, these are two quality football teams, and for the ball to be on the ground like this in the 10th game of the season is first of all, it's unacceptable, but unbelievable as well.
Credit Corinthian Abrams with the strip there. She kind of reached his right hand right into the football and punched it out. And Antonio Jenkins falling on it. So once again, we've seen Kathleen there, ball deep in their own territory, get a couple big stops, one on 4th down and one here on the turnover. And now with 2 minutes left, see if the quick offense, the fast-paced offense here for Kathleen can try to spark some sort of 2-minute drill as they go into the break.
Well, we've seen a ton of turnovers so far. This one was very early in the game, trying to take it on the short hop and gave it back to Kathleen, set them up for their score. It was sloppy, Adam. Sloppy in the offensive side. The ball kept hitting off of Ferrier's hands. This one was just an errant pass. But it's just been sloppy on both sides now.
So just about all these touchdowns for both sides have come off of turnovers, as Lakeland's 2 scores were off Kathleen turnovers deep in their own end, and Kathleen scored off that fumbled or muffed punt, I should say. And here we are now. Obviously, they've got about 75 yards to go before they get a score, but Kathleen, the benefactor of another Lakeland turnover.
Well, they flipped over the formation during that timeout. They flipped the formation over, and Harrison is up on the top. He's always been down here on the left side. Now he's up at the top.
Another sort of bobbled snap there, but able to get it out to his running back, Ravonta Johnson, picks up a play. And let's head down to the field where Brian Bass is standing.
Yeah, Adam, you know, when you look at this Kathleen team, they're trying to get to Lakeland standards, and by doing that, they went through an entire renovation of their facilities, costing $30 million for the entire school. But featuring on the athletics, they changed the locker room, redid that. As far as the weight room, they were using weights that were 20 years old. So coach said, we got to get rid of that. Got a total new weight system. And so this team is trying through their facilities to kind of be like Lakeland to get to that level, Adam.
Good looking facilities here at Kathleen. Since we were last year doing a game, they've really redone the facility, and you know the players love that new weight room, and all the Polk County schools have now been completely updated, so all these teams are now in an equal playing field in terms of their strength and conditioning program.
Well, we're on the opposite side of the field. They switched the home field from the other side and built a new press box over here, so we're on the opposite side of the stadium. I came in and had I guess I got vertigo or something when I came in. I didn't know what I was doing here. I'm on the wrong side. Wait a second, that's not the home side. That's Kathleen's supposed to be on the other side.
So here we are way up here. Press box. Jeff Carlson with Adam Kohler and Ryan Bass doing a fine job down on the sidelines. 1 minute, 50 seconds left to go here. Is Kathleen trying to make something of that turnover, facing 1st and 10. They continue to go to the air. Well, actually, he'll pull it down, and Ferrier's got some room, picks up a block, and he is down the sidelines to the 45-yard line inside of Lakeland territory. Big play by Treyu Ferrier.
And before he pulled that down, Harrison had made a kind of a square-in little slant move. I thought right here he was going to be open. He was going to see him. He was trying to find his way out of there, out of the backfield. Does a nice job getting the sideline and getting the clock stopped again. This is really playing to Ferrier's strengths, as Coach Strickland said. He likes this pace of play. He likes the no huddle, where he can just quickly read the defense, get the snap off, and maybe catch the Lakeland defense off guard a bit here, as he's got him moving now. 1st and 10, going deep. Looking for his target to Mez right, but just overthrows the receiver there. Yeah, when you stay in a spread look and you get to the line of scrimmage quickly, you basically keep the other team in the same coverage. And then when you do that, it gives the quarterback an advantage. They've been kind of resetting a lot and getting a lot of different looks, so it hasn't worked to their advantage, and they have not been able to run the ball. Even when they've spread them out, they have not run the ball well so far. But if they can do that in the second half, they're going to have a very good chance. Coach Strickland giving the signals in from the sidelines. Everybody lined up in the 2-wide formation. Split out to the left and right, and that one, right tackle rocked backwards.
False start on the offense, 5-yard penalty.
Antonio Riley, the guilty party on that one. So move it back 5. It'll be 2nd and 15 from midfield here.
Yeah, and in a situation when Lakeland's coming hard with their linebackers, Farrier really does have to change the snap count, whether it's just hesitating with the snap count or going on 2 or 3 or whatever it might be, because you give Lakeland a chance, a running chance. TJ Simmons, number 2, you see him turning away from us right there. He comes downhill, man. He gets there quick.
Farrier able to escape some initial pressure and pick up about 4 yards on the play, bringing up a 3rd and long coming up here for Kathleen. Haven't done well on these 3rd and long situations thus far in the game.
Now the passing game just hasn't been real comfortable so far. Just kind of hoping, throwing into double coverage, throwing into short. The defender, the corner, playing short and still throwing the hitches into it. It's going to be a tough night if you keep doing that.
Inside a minute to play here in the 2nd quarter. Lakeland showing blitz, but they drop back. And it's Farrier one more time, trying to pick up the yardage with his feet, but just a shoestring tackle there to bring him down around the 47-yard line.
And you see number 99 doing a nice job hanging in there. DeShomes, just a sophomore.
Coach Strickland looks like he's keeping his offense on the field here for his first fourth down attempt, and now they'll call timeout to talk about it. Let's go to Rock Riley to check on that Plant Robinson game in the Bright House Sports Network studios.
Thank you, Adam. Jeff, yep, Plant and Robinson. This is Wesley Bullock from 4 yards out for Plant. He is in. It's tight. Now, Plant is up 10-6 over Robinson. It's the first time Robinson has trailed all season long. It's a good one. Back to you guys.
Jeff, how good are those two teams? When you talk about Plant and Robinson, you've got a chance to see some of them in action this year.
Yeah, and speeds all around. They move the ball around. Plant's offense is always wide open. This is Coach Depew's last run at it. He's retiring after many years, so they're undefeated and running through everybody. So it's great game there. And I gave credit to the wrong guy on that last tackle. Saintlis, Sherby Saintlis is the guy that got that tackle.
So we'll be sure to check in on that Plant Robinson game all night long as they look to be battling it out for the full 4 quarters, much like we've got here. Is a 8-point game, 1-score game between these two rivals going back decades and decades here in Polk County. 4th down coming up, 7 yards needed for the first. Farrier's got a spread formation here. Once again, not much there. The pocket collapse is able to get rid of it, but not able to find Javon Harrison there as he skips it up to his junior wide receiver. And Lakeland will get the ball with 28 seconds left in the half.
Yeah, just able to survive and get rid of the football, but it was 4th down. He had to get it to somebody, but they got there quick. You see how quick those linebackers were timing that snap count, They're right there, and then getting double guys coming through the A gaps right between the guard and center gaps on both sides, and very difficult to give good protection when you do that.
Kind of a ping-pong game back and forth. Obviously, we knew we'd be seeing 2 great defenses. Lakeland giving up just 7.2 points a game, and Kathleen just over 11 points a game, so not a lot of long drives from either side as, of course, turnovers and whatnot have really caused the ball to be traded back and forth. So that'll be probably the final play of this quarter as Lakeland content to take their 14-6 lead into the locker room. The Dreadnaughts are looking good early on thanks to a pair of Kathleen turnovers, and the Red Devils keeping things close, 14-6 as they are right in this football game, and it should be a good one here as we move into the second half coming up after the high school halftime show. Let's go down to Ryan Bass here on the sideline.
Hey, Adam, Coach, sloppy play so far in this first half. Just talk about the turnovers by you guys.
Yeah, both of us have been, a little sloppy right there, but we've had good field position, and we just got to quit fumbling the football.
How big was that interception by Dempsey there that kind of led you guys down the field? You able to score on that play?
Well, that was obviously a big turning point right there in the first half for us. We just got to come back, like you say, eliminate mistakes and try to hang on the football.
I know they're trying to get to their big guy, Javon, to Walker. What do you do to kind of take him out of the game?
It's hard to take him out of the game, but we're trying to mix it up where we're pressing him and then make like we're going to press him and then bail him and change his coverages up on him. But he's a good athlete.
Good luck in the second half, Coach. Thank you.
All
right, back to you, Adam.
All right, thank you, Ryan. 14-6. Coach Bill Castle liking what he sees so far, but it'll sure take a full 4 quarters of football to determine the winner of this game. That's going to do it here for the halftime Let's send it to our Bright House Sports Network studios where Rock Riley is standing by with the high school halftime show.
Tonight, Kathleen and our fellow Knots go head-to-head in a historic crosstown matchup, once again covered by our local Bright House Sports Network. Lakeland's top-ranked defense is sure to give Kathleen's quarterback, Autry Barrier, a Division I prospect, a chance to show his skills. Coming off of a rare loss last week to Ridge Community, Knots say that they're more than just prepared for this game. Coach Castle shared with his team that this is a growing moment for the boys, as well as a show of character, as they rally to bring home yet another win. So come out tonight and support your Knots. Tickets will not be sold at the game, so make sure you purchase them at Marshall's Jewelers or follow us at bhsn.com. This has been your varsity reporter, Rachel Watson, with your pregame matchup.
The Bright House Sports Network Game of the Week is presented by Subway Restaurants. Subway Restaurants continue to offer the best deal in town. Get a 6-inch sub, 21-ounce drink, and a bag of chips for only $4.50. Subway. Play hard, eat fresh.
Adam Kohler, Jeff Carlson back with you here at Johnny Johnson Stadium. Here as Kathleen trails 14-6, getting ready to start the third quarter. But first, let's take a look back at the first half. Turnovers, Jeff, certainly the story early on in this game.
Yeah, Coach Castle said it as he was going into halftime. Both teams are just playing sloppy, and that is just not like Lakeland, especially this late in the season in a big game. But, you know, it is Kathleen, and they're going after each other, trying to win this game. But both teams have put the ball on the ground many, many times. It's just not usual for these guys.
Javon Harrison with the touchdown for Kathleen. There's Radon Dwight on the touchdown for Lakeland. And then here, the first interception thrown of the night for Treyu Ferrier, and it turns into another touchdown for Lakeland. Nice throw by Isaiah Walker, completes it for a score for Lakeland. And that's where we're at right now, 14-6. And look at those rushing statistics. Kathleen continues to try to rush the football, Jeff, but not a whole lot of success.
No, they've been doing it on first down a lot and getting nowhere. And then, you know, I mean, those positive yards just came on Ferrier's run at the end of the half as they were, you know, closing out the scoring and the time. But doing nothing on the ground, and the passing has not been precise so far. I think the defensive techniques by Lakeland are really paying off. They're covering Harrison up very, very well, and they just right now Kathleen doesn't know what to do about it.
But really, you look at those stats, and there's not that much disparity. Obviously, it's a close game, and you know the total yards you see there, both right around 100, 2 turnovers on both sides, penalties about even. So really, no team is really outplaying the other thus far. And talk about the Kathleen field position so far; they've been in their own 34. But let's go down to Ryan Bass on the sidelines here.
Yeah, Adam, we do a program here at Bright House Sports Network called the Varsity Reporter Program, where we partner with a lot of schools across the area, and we have reporters come and kind of shadow us and get to work with us on Bright House Sports Network. Here's Ivy Oglesby with a preview of what we do.
Some of Lakeland High School senior production students have gotten the opportunity to partner with Bright House Sports Network and become varsity reporters. These students produce reports about all the sports and athletes we have here at Lakeland, and the reports are then posted on the Bright House website under the Varsity Reporter column. With tonight's game against Kathleen being a Bright House Game of the Week, some of the reporters are going to get the opportunity to shadow professional sports reporters with Bright House Sports Network. Tune in tonight on Bright House Channel 47 and HD 1147 to watch the game live against Kathleen.
And one of these varsity reporters shadowing me tonight is Savannah Collins from Lakeland. Savannah, thanks so much for hanging out with me tonight. First of all, just talk about the Varsity Reporter Program and your experience with it so far.
It's such an opportunity for me. I found out when I was in elementary school that TV is where I want to go. And I'm a sports fanatic. It's what I love. It's what I want to do. And the Varsity Reporter is just another way for me to get there. I'm getting feedback from professionals. I'm learning what real news stations want to hear. And I feel like it's making my career getting there so much easier.
What advice would you give to other students that are kind of not really sure if they want to get into the program or not?
Do it. Just put everything you have into it. You'll realize that in it, no matter how stressed you get, no matter how crazy it gets, it's going to be your passion. It'll be what you'll love, and you'll love going to work every day.
How's your time hanging out here so far on the sidelines tonight?
I wish I could do this every Friday night. I love this, being with the crew, just seeing what it would really be like, and it's just making me fall even more in love with it.
Well, Savannah Collins, ladies and gentlemen, take notice of her. She's going to be taking my job one day. Back to you, Adam.
Really well-spoken student-athlete there, and just kind of the embodiment of our Bright House Sports Network Varsity Reporter Program. Just a great chance for a lot of these students that are interested in television to get their chance firsthand and experience what it's like to do what we do for a living, Jeff. And it's pretty neat to see these seniors and these students coming out here and doing it to help us out.
Yeah, Savannah Collins just proved that she has been doing this and enjoyed it, and it's her passion for a long time. She did a great job right there. You know, she reminded me of Laura McKeeman, who's we've worked with before. She reminded me very much of her, and she's doing very well in her broadcasting career, so I'm sure Savannah is going to be extremely successful in the very near future.
Well, tonight, not the only game going on around Polk County. We've got a few other area teams that are in action tonight, and Winter Haven, who's already off to the playoffs, just enjoying a 38-0 lead there in the third quarter. Lake Wales, a close game against Bartow, and then Lakeland Christian ending the season with a big victory thus far, 54-12 over Santa Fe Catholic. Of course, Kathleen has seen Polk County's best for sure this year. They're just one of 2 area county teams that have played all 4 ranked Polk County teams. So when you look at their schedule, yeah, they're 6-3, but their 3 losses have been by combined 9 points. They've been in every single game. They just don't get blown out. And you can see it here tonight. Lakeland may be the better team on paper, but they're hanging with them so far through 2 quarters.
Well, that's what I said early in the game. They've just had multiple tough losses, whereas Lakeland, they're 8-1, but they've had tough wins, just very few points, overtimes, and Kathleen has just been in every game. We saw them when they fought back against Winter Haven to take the lead and ended up losing that game, but they've been in every game and just a lot of tough losses. They've got to be sharper, though, in this second half to beat a good Lakeland Dreadnought football team.
Yeah, right now we're waiting for the start of the third quarter. A little bit of a scoreboard malfunction right now as the officials try to wait on the correction there, as we are blank as you look at the Johnny Johnson Stadium scoreboard there. So while we wait on that, we can kind of set up the third quarter here for you, and you talk about a Kathleen team that this is their final game of the season as they were beat out by Lake Gibson and Winter Haven in the 6A District 10. It's a tough district to win, and even a tough district to place in as far as playoff seeding goes, because those are 2 programs that year in, year out, you know, are going to be real tough to beat.
No doubt. There's a lot of coaches scratching their heads when they come out of these meetings and they redistrict, and all of a sudden you get these things. You go, what's going on here? We got 9-team districts. Here's a 5-team district. We've got 4-team districts. You get a 4-team district. 2 teams are coming out of a 4-team district. Got a 9-1, and very hard to get to the playoffs. So here you see Kathleen at 2-2 in the district, just missed going to the playoffs.
Kathleen's regular season will be ending tonight, but the coach of Kathleen, Irvin Strickland, got together with the Sickles head coach, and they decided, since both teams were so close to the playoffs, why not get together for these students, these seniors, play one more game. They're going to call it a bowl game, so coming up Wednesday night at 7 o'clock here at Johnny Johnson Stadium, it'll be the Kathleen Red Devils taking on the Sickles Griffins in what coaches are calling a bowl game. So kind of neat that they're able to get those 2 teams together and play one more game.
I heard about that. It's cross-county.
That's right. Cool. 2 teams that usually don't get to play each other, so it'll be neat. It'll be very much like these playoff matchups where you see 2 teams paired against each other outside of the district and maybe outside of the counties that you're familiar with playing with. Lakeland, on the other hand, was thinking they were going to have home field advantage to start the playoffs next Friday night, but because of that loss to Ridge, they're now 2nd in their district, so they kind of forfeited that home field advantage, so they'll have to begin their playoff trek on the road. And they've certainly got a tough matchup as they'll be paired up with one of the better teams from the Orlando area. Take a look at the final standings for Class 7A District 5. That Ridge Community team able to pull out that last-minute win in the 4th quarter. As we mentioned, a pick 6 returned 80 yards in the final couple minutes for Ridge Community as they won 7-0. So Lakeland hits the road coming up next Friday. This is a good test for them, though. So the scoreboard right now is sort of flashing, but it's not fully operational at the moment. So the officials will be keeping the time on the field, and we'll just try to keep you up to date as best as possible when we get the information relayed back to us. So bear with us. They'll keep the time with the officials, and we'll start the third quarter here. We'll try to start the third quarter as the officials now getting back together.
Well, the scoreboard's getting better. It's improving. It was flashing all kinds of weird signs, and now at least it looks like a scoreboard once again. But I guess the $30 million renovation needed to be $30 million and a couple of extra bucks. Here we go. We look good. 14-6. That looks about right. 12 minutes left in the game. Third quarter. 3 timeouts on each side. We're just about ready to go.
24 minutes of football left to play here in the final week of the regular season, and plenty of bragging rights at stake in this one between Polk County's 2 of the best teams in the area. So that one going to be another touchback. Big leg there by Junior Mata. He's done that all year long. The sophomore kicker, not that tall, but he packs a punch when he kicks that football. So it'll start at the 20-yard line where Lakeland will take over. Their average field position so far today, Jeff, has been on their own 48. So they've really benefited from a few turnovers in Kathleen territory, and that has resulted in, getting the ball right around midfield. So we have yet to see a really long, sustained drive by either team, and Lakeland will start out the third quarter looking to do just that.
Well, you mentioned Mata's done a good job keeping them out and helping. I mean, it's 14-6 because Mata's done a nice job on a lot of punting opportunities.
We'll start right to the ground game, and that defensive line stiffens up there. Big play by Demirical Flournoy. Tackles him for a loss. He has 42 tackles on the night going into the game. This is a guy that's a junior, but really dedicated himself in the offseason, putting on 20 pounds of muscle. One of the team's bigger communicators. He, right there, communicated a lot to the running back of Lakeland, just knocking him back a few yards, setting up here in 2nd and 10. Walker pitches it out to Robert Smith. Smith gets by the first line of defense and tackled right around the 30-yard line. Should move the chains.
And I had a flashback. You see number 3. We saw the highlight from 2004, Chris Rainey. They used to run this misdirection pitch, and Chris Rainey used to come downhill and go the distance. Kathleen closes the door on that very well right there with Kevin Wilson making the tackle, but they do pick up the first down, and it's a good-looking run.
Yeah, Lakeland's a team that likes to run the football in the first half. They only threw the ball 5 times, so with the lead and a Bill Castle offense, you can expect a lot of the ground game here in the second half. Thus far, they've been successful with it. Braxton Huggins there bottled up for about a 1-yard gain.
You know, one of the things, Doug Martin, I think we mentioned him earlier tonight or something. He runs with the ball high and tight. It's really tight to his body and up in the middle of his chest. I used to come out here and see Lakeland, and that's what they just preached. Beyond preaching was high and tight, high and tight. And I was surprised to see them put the ball on the ground and be a little bit loose with it, including Huggins put the ball on the ground. And I expect that Coach Castle spent some time talking about that maybe in the locker room, and we will not see the ball away from the body in the second half by a running back for Lakeland.
They're averaging just 1 turnover a game, and only in the first half they already had 2, so it's already uncharacteristic of the Lakeland offense. Right there you can see great play by the defense there as Kathleen is fired up. Big sack by Corinthian Abrams, the senior, tag teaming up there with Antonio Jenkins to bring down Walker.
You said it. There's multiple guys right there. Abrams gets there first, and then look at that, 4 guys there by the time he gets to the ground. So great start.
This is the first time we've really seen Lakeland in a 3rd and long situation here. It'll be a 3rd and 16, maybe 17 coming up here for the Dreadnaughts. We'll have to see what they can do through the air, as Isaiah Walker has only 648 yards through the air so far this season. They'll keep it on the ground, so a nice delayed draw play there.
4th down.
And giving it over to Robert Smith. He won't get the first down, but it'll bring him to about 4th and 6.
Yeah, just enough to not take any chances. You know, maybe you get it, maybe you don't. Punt the ball away. Right now, Kathleen's been their own worst enemy through the game, so if they just play solid, keep kicking the ball to the other side of the field, Lakeland would probably feel like they're going to have a good chance to win this game, even if they don't do too many spectacular things on offense for the rest of the half.
Marcus Zinnerman back to field the punt, call a fair catch at the 35, hangs on to the football there, and that's where Kathleen will start. Hey, the only place to watch the state football finals is on Bright House Sports Network, which is channel 47 and HD 1147. We're the official TV partner of the Florida High School Athletic Association and your home for high school sports.
Amazing that we're not very far away.
That's right, the Citrus Bowl just weekends down the road. Citrus Bowl coming up first couple weekends of December, I believe, as the playoffs will be in full swing coming up next Friday night. All right, so 35-yard line is where Kathleen will start the drive here. 1st and 10, their first offensive series One of the few times we've seen tonight Trey Ferrier line up underneath the center, Jeff. They had a little bit of a problem with the shotgun.
I liked him under center, but the same result on the same play. You try to run the ball on Lakeland on 1st and 10, and it's going absolutely nowhere. So they go under center. That's not a problem, or I even like it better, but there's going nowhere on the ground. You know, all these high schools now have, you know, since the success of Tim Tebow in Florida and all this, the option out of the shotgun has been a big deal. But you give away a lot as far as the running game. So I like about 50-50 underneath the center and shotgun, depending on the situation.
Back in the shotgun, the handoff to Ravonta Johnson. Again, Johnson, the first guy that hits him, is bringing him down along with a host of Dreadnought defenders, and that'll be really maybe a gain of 1 on the play.
Yeah, Johnson's closing out his high school career here as well. Really hadn't gotten an opportunity, hasn't gotten any space to get loose at all. This time 3rd and 8 yards. They've been in 3rd and long more tonight probably than they've been all season.
And not a real high conversion rate tonight on 3rd and long so far for Kathleen, and they'll try to change that trend tonight. And these 3rd and longs, you know, they're shading their #1 receiver, Javon Harrison. You can see at the bottom of your screen they're bringing over a safety to help on the coverage. So we'll see if he distributes it elsewhere. Once again, feeling the pressure and pulling it down and trying to pick it up with his feet. He's going to get close, but he's not going to get enough. Maybe 3 yards shy of the first down there. Ferrier just didn't have anything, and he felt that pressure pretty quickly.
Yeah, but it's looked very similar many plays tonight. He takes a quick peek and then starts moving around and runs into his own offensive lineman and then tries to find space. And by that time, Lakeland Dreadnought defense is going to find you. You're not going to pick up 8 yards very often. Every once in a while, he did it, I think, on the first series of the game, he was able to squirt through and pick up a first down. And ever since then, it's come up short, and they have to punt the ball away.
Jaquan Foster back to receive the punt before we've got flags on the play.
False start on the offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
You know, before it went 5 yards backwards, I would say, you know, when you're in your last game, you're down by 8, and you got nothing else to worry about, maybe you go for that fake punt. Now they put themselves in a worse situation. They probably weren't going to go for it anyway, but now you just got to punt the ball away.
All those plays that coach had drawn up throughout the offseason and season that he hadn't got a chance to use, perhaps
yes,
we'll be digging deep in the playbook tonight. Right there, that's a good-looking punt.
It's a great, perfect punt, almost all the way down to the 1 yard line, gets to about the 3. What a great punt by Bottom. We just talked about how great of a night he's been having, and then that's the best he's done all night.
So Junior Mata with around a 59-yard punt after a nice Kathleen bounce down to around the 3-yard line. That's going to make it a very long field for Lakeland in this offense. And so far, Kathleen had a nice first defensive series, forcing a 3 and out, and we'll see if they can do it again.
There's a few colleges that employ that rugby-style kick. Now, he goes lower than most because that's going to hit players on the way out, and it's going to stop a very short, make it a very short punt. So he changed that technique just a little bit, get a little bit higher, but this was extremely successful here. But, you know, you find a college that likes to do that, and he's got that kind of experience in high school. You just never know.
Handoff there to, pulls out the handoff, fake to Huggins, and Walker just takes it himself, trying to buy himself a little more breathing room. Under about the 9-yard line, pick up about 5 on the play.
And then the long run to the sideline to pick the play up, and then the long run back into the huddle. Oh, there you go. Got a
Devin McIntyre kind of hobbling off the field there during the water break. We'll have to check on him, see if he's all right. And that leaves us to the 3rd quarter water break. Still 14-6 here with 6 minutes left in the. Adam Kohler and Jeff Carlson with you here in the booth. Ryan Bass down on the sidelines here in our Bright House Sports Network Game of the Week. It's a good one. Polk County's best rivalry, and it is proving to be so thus far through 2.5 quarters. It's 14-6 Knots on top of the Red Devils, but Kathleen's got them back deep into Lakeland territory here on this drive.
Not the style of football game I expected coming over here. You know, used to so many big plays and different things happening, but just tough-nosed defense at the line of scrimmage. Trying to get it outside here for a little first down pickup.
And it's Jaquan Foster on the reception. He's going to get that first down and a few extra yards. Nice little swing pass out there by Isaiah Walker, and it gives the Dreadnought offense a new first down.
Yeah, that's it. Just get more space. You know, it's been a lot of tight runs and things inside, and Lakeland's had some pretty good inside runs. Huggins has had a number of good inside runs, but give these guys space, and they'll make plays for you.
So a new set of downs for Walker and company, and we'll see if they go right back to the ground game. Braxton Huggins thus far with a big game and gets the handoff here and breaks a few tackles, spinning forward for about 4 yards on the carry.
I thought they didn't cover the slot receiver and got a late reaction to go out there, and by that I thought they were going to open a hole. Huggins got a few on that, but looked like he was going to pop through for a big play as that side linebacker rushed out to cover the slot man and ended up making a big back inside, still stopped the play.
So 9 carries and 58 yards for Braxton Huggins, as he split carries tonight with Robert Smith and Radon Dwight. But right now he's the primary back alongside Isaiah Walker here at 2nd and 4. And Walker will keep it himself, stretches forward for a few extra yards. It'll be 3rd and short coming up here for Lakeland, as the Kathleen defense will have to toughen up here on 3rd and short.
I thought that was Vaughn Baker on the tackle. Was that, or was it Owens?
Have to see a replay to
I couldn't tell it was 33 or 23. My eyes are getting bad. But he stayed home on the edge, which was really nice.
Look at this Lakeland defense right now, Jeff. All bouncing up and down. You can see they're fired up for this one.
It's good. Yeah, I think it was Owens there, but he did a nice job staying home on the quarterback keep.
That's Huggins one more time. He's going to get the first down before he's corralled around the 35-yard line. Hit behind the line of scrimmage, but able to power through to pick up that first down.
Let's take a look inside. Crashing it down. And this time he overruns it from the outside. Huggins picks up the first down.
So the Lakeland drive stays alive as the Dreadnaughts here are content to pick up 3-4 yards at a clip with that 8-point lead. Of course, the Dreadnaught offense this year averaging 26 points a game. Right now off the pace a bit. This is Robert Smith on the edge, and Smith picks up the first down and more down just past midfield on a nice run by the senior.
Yeah, a lot of space as he comes around this corner. You can see just nobody's really close to him. It's a counter action. You can see both linemen come through, the fullback and the lineman kick it out and following through, and then there was just a lot of space for him just to take it around the corner, pick up another first down, back-to-back first downs.
Good looking drive here for Lakeland. I mean, you got to remember this started on a great punt by Mata down to the 3-yard line, and they've just been moving the chains.
And this is what they're more used to, is long, sustained drives, not making mistakes, taking care of the football.
It's again Huggins, but not much there as he's dropped for relatively no gain on the play.
Abrams making a nice play from the backside. They're running away from him, but he tracks it down from the opposite side defensive end position.
Bill Castle, about as old school as they come when you talk about football coaches, and his way through, like you mentioned, 3 different decades of winning has proved to be true. It might not be flashy. It's not what a lot of the new coaches are adopting with the spread formation, but his players certainly buy in. He finds the right athletes at the right spots, and once again, Lakeland 8-1 despite only having 2 Division I prospects on this football team.
Well, I think he embodies proven track record. You got to trust me.
Yeah.
You know, he can say that. You know, go to your parent meetings and, hey, you're gonna just have to trust me on this. I'm gonna get it done. Proven track record by that man.
So about a 6-yard, 5-yard gain on the play there as the clock just keeps ticking down here in the 3rd quarter as Lakeland has possessed the ball for a big chunk of time here in the 3rd quarter. And let's take it down to Ryan Bass on the sideline.
Hey, Adam. Yeah, I'm here with Sergeant Matthew Thompson with the Great American Rivalry series. Just tell a little bit about, we see the scaffolding all over the place, see the big football here. Talk a little bit about why you guys are here.
Well, the reason why we're here today is, you know, the Marine Corps always likes to be part of, you know, young men and women in this area that are trying to do the best they can. And that rivalry between the 2 teams here, the 2 biggest schools here in Lakeland, you know, we want to be part of that and witness some of the great things that these young men and women are going to do.
So why this school? Why come out here to Kathleen and see such a great rivalry?
You know, Kathleen High School has always been kind of an underdog and they're a little bit smaller than Lakeland High School. The Marine Corps is always the smallest of all the forces, so but there's something special between Kathleen High School and the United States Marines.
So I know you're the recruiter for this area and this high school. I'm sure you've seen this rivalry a couple of times already. Talk about how intense it gets in these games.
The turnout for these games is huge, and you know the pep rallies for the two schools hold. They really get excited. It's something to see.
Well, it's good to have you guys out here. Sergeant Thompson, great to meet you. Adam, back to you guys.
Certainly a rivalry deserving of the name they put it on, Ryan. Thank you very much. The great American rivalry between Lakeland and Kathleen. Third down coming up here for the Dreadnaughts, and they appear to pick it up, kind of bobbled that catch, but came down with it. Is Jaquan Perkins.
Yeah, caught it beyond the sticks, so wasn't able to do anything with it. He had a little bit of space, not able to do anything with it as he slips. Oh, he double clutched it and was able to grab it. Nice catch, picks up another first down.
They just keep moving the sticks. This is a big drive here for Lakeland as Kathleen's defense has forced a few third downs, but just not able to get off the field. And it's Walker handing off to Huggins. Huggins just moving the pile forward. Another, right at the sticks. It looked to be about 9, maybe 10-yard gain there as Walker takes the spill out on the track.
Well, and you're starting to see them impose their will a little bit, and you sometimes wonder how long is a football game? Why is it, talk about 60 minutes in the pros, it's 48 minutes in high school, but a lot of teams can hang in there for that first half, and then you start to see them impose their will over time. And as the third quarter starts to wear away, Lakeland doesn't put the ball on the ground, and they are consistent, and now they put a number of first downs together. We'll see if Kathleen can answer. First of all, if they can stop them, but then if they can answer offensively in the fourth quarter, that's probably when they're going to get the ball back.
Well, you see depth playing an issue here late in the game, too. Lakeland, a bigger school, a bigger roster. They can sub in guys more out, fresh players, and whether or not that's playing a factor now, it's something you definitely have to take into consideration.
Well, that's the question as we go into the playoffs next week in Armwood and Largo. We've seen Largo play 2 impressive football games this season, but they play so many guys both ways. Can they go all the way to the state championship with a few guys? And we'll find out, but that's exactly right. What happens when you get late in the third and in the fourth quarter? Do you still have the stamina? Do you have that breakaway speed? When you get an opening, can you take advantage of it? Sometimes you can and sometimes you can't. We'll find out if Kathleen can stand up here late in this.
We got a jumbo set here, Jeff. Is TJ Simmons coming over from defense to play fullback. We're not going to even mess with it. They're going to go quarterback sneak as Isaiah Walker tries to get the first. It appears he's got enough.
Well, we talked about this earlier in the game, and Nyblack, 375 pounds. What are you going to do? You get 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. You're just going to quarterback sneak it. I mean, who's going to stop that?
Nyblack just about double the size of anyone on the defensive line. So if you're going to run behind anybody, he's taking it right behind the center, and it proved to work right there. Another first down for Lakeland on this drive as they are now inside the 30-yard line of Kathleen.
Yeah, they could probably wedge block on most plays and get a couple yards.
The 13th play of the drive coming up here for the Dreadnaughts. It's Walker to Smith, and Smith breaks free, and 15 yards later, they bring him down just outside the 10-yard line. Nice run there by Smith.
They did a nice job holding onto the ball late. We do have an injured Red Devil going down.
Kevin Wilson on the ground right now being attended to by the training staff.
But he slipped right through the middle. We're talking about that. Now the runs up the middle are working late here in the 30 seconds left in the third quarter. There was a lot of room. I mean, it wasn't a big space, but just enough for Smith to slip through there and keep going, but pick up 15 yards.
Well, Lakeland last week lost their chance at an undefeated regular season, but there's still a few teams around the Tampa Bay area that are alive for that perfect regular season in the top 20. And you take a look at Robinson right now, 9-0 in the year, but trailing by 6 in the third quarter. And then that Largo team you mentioned should easily be able to get past Gibbs tonight before that big matchup with Armwood. And then Durant also cruising here at 17-0.
Well, Robinson on an undefeated season. They don't want to drop this one in the last regular season game going into the playoffs. Sometimes it's better for you to drop the game for your playoff chances, right? But you want that 10-0 season, and it looked like Durant is going to continue to hold on to theirs.
So
and
tough,
Largo as well.
Tough break there for Kevin Wilson. They're carrying him off the field as the junior free safety is looking to be like in a good amount of pain. He's also an outstanding basketball player, Wilson. You know, basketball season's just around the corner, so this guy's certainly a two-way star. A handoff to Huggins as he is actually a fake to Huggins. That's Walker, and Walker gets down near the goal line. They're going to say just shy as Walker pulls a play action and picks up a first down on the play, or real close to it.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. He got really close to the goal line itself. Besides the first down, it's gonna be he's gonna be right on there.
So they're gonna call it first and goal. Looks like actually second and very, very short here coming up for Lakeland.
The drive just been extremely methodical, but look, when they put the ball in the air that one time and got the pass, but that went to Perkins. Outside of that, it's just been, you know, the ground control. Clock goes fast. The game gets out of hand fast because there's no time left to make a comeback.
There it is again. We saw that quarterback sneak on 3rd and short, and this one good for a touchdown. Lakeland. Isaiah Walker keeps it himself, plunges into the goal, and it's another touchdown for the Dreadnaughts. 20-6 on Walker's 10th rushing touchdown of the season.
And now it's been a long time since Kathleen's offense. He just takes it off to the right guard, and really good movement up front by that Lakeland Dreadnaught offensive line. But the Kathleen offense has been off the field for quite some time now. They're going to have to get warmed back up.
Caleb Hugh on to attempt the extra point to make it 21-6. A devastating drive, as we joked, with that ball on the 3-yard line. It would take a lot of work for Lakeland to march all the way down the field, 97 yards for a score. But that's exactly what this Dreadnaught offense did, marching down the field against Kathleen and punching it in here from 2 yards out. Isaiah Walker on the quarterback sneak behind the big center, Jonathan Niblack.
Yeah, good surge up front. And that's when you start to see a playoff team and a team that is playing their last game, but when you really got to stick it in there, well, this is the last game, we're not going to playoffs, and then it's tough to get everybody to do it all at the same time.
21-6 with 17 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, and you know, we've mentioned Kathleen's been in a lot of close games. Jeff, you and I saw the Winter Haven game where they were down 20-0 and able to rally based on a few key turnovers. We saw those in the first half, but thus far Lakeland taking care of the football here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, here's some 2007 lines. That looked like Scooter Hagens, and I don't know if that was TJ Lawrence or not, but he was a one-man wrecking crew for Kathleen back in that time frame, 2007, 2008.
Yeah, we'll take a look at those highlights. That was another good game between these two opponents 5 years ago. And the game was at Lakeland. It was 10-0 Kathleen out to an early start, but then, like you mentioned, it's Hagens. And check out this run on the nice fake diving into the end zone to bring them within a 3-score game. And then the second quarter, the second half team, it was all Lakeland here. Is Jason Guzman scores his 2nd touchdown of the game. That would be the game winner as Lakeland goes on to win 21-17. Good game there back in 2007.
That sounded like my voice on there. Pretty sure I caught that one.
Wasn't too long ago, huh?
No.
So a critical drive coming up for Kathleen. 1st and 10 from their own 30. Big run for the Red Devil.
And a positive run for the Red Devils, but boy, Ferrier took a shot high and low from the left and the right. You don't want to do that too many times to your quarterback, or else he won't be available in the future.
It's one of the few times they've picked up positive yards on the first play from first down on their opening drive, 5 yards on the play. So we'll see if they can keep that momentum going here. 21.
The Bright House Sports Network Game of the Week is presented by Subway Restaurants. Subway Restaurants continue to offer the best deal in town. Get a 6-inch sub, 21-ounce drink, and a bag of chips for only $4.50. Subway, play hard, eat fresh.
Adam Kohler, Jeff Carlson here with you at Kathleen High School as the Red Devils looking to make a 4th quarter comeback against their hated rivals Lakeland, trailing 21-6 as we start the final frame of action here in the regular season. 2nd and 5 coming up, in a big hole breaking open is Ravonta Johnson. He's going to go down to the 10, to the 5, into the end zone, 62 yards. Ravonta Johnson, exactly what the doctor ordered for Kathleen.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. Started early in the fourth quarter. This kid, I've known him for a while. I like him a lot. Good, just a good young man, and just gets a chance to get a little bit of space, and he's a little guy, so that's all he needs. They just hasn't seen it. That's a nice cut, and then he's got the speed to go the distance. We talked about that Winter Haven game. Looked good, and he waited till the fourth quarter, I think, in that game to score. First play of the fourth quarter here, he gets into the end zone from long way away.
Jeff, we were just talking about how long to keep trying to run the football without getting any results. Well, they did it one more time, and finally, after so many 1-yard rushes, 2-yard rushes, they break through in a big way. So a huge play there by Ravonta Johnson. They needed that. Now they're back within a score here. They're going to go for 2.
And this is the wrong play, Adam. Seriously, you're down by 9, and if you don't get it, you're 2 possessions away. If you get an extra point, you're 1 possession away. This is a bad call.
So it's Treyu Farrier diving for the pylon. It's close, waiting for a signal on the refs. They're going to call it. 2-point conversion's good. So they gamble with the odds there, but they get the 2-point conversion. 21-14. Big 2-point conversion there by Farrier.
I'm glad they get the conversion here, but you put yourself in a really bad position. Here's the touchdown run. That was just a great cut, and then he's got the speed to go the distance. Little stud guy. Like we said, he's strongest guy on the team. He run this one, gets to the corner. It's a good call. He gets there. That is an extra point, the 2-point conversion, but I disagree with going for it at that point, because if you don't get it,
you don't extend the game.
2 possessions, and you're probably not going to get 2 possessions anymore. I mean, they'll still get the ball back twice, but you just put yourself in a worse position than if you're down by 8 and you score, then you have a chance. But now you'd have to go for 2. Here they're down by 7.
Well, it only took 11 seconds in the fourth quarter, and that's all they needed for a touchdown from Ravonta Johnson, providing the spark they needed. Let's take a look through 3 quarters. What the statistics look like. Total yards 228 to 94, Jeff.
Yeah, a little bit different now as we get through 3 quarters of a football game. And, you know, a lot of those total yards and even the rushing yards, that 97-yard drive really made the difference there.
Tonight's statistics brought to you by Baycare Sports Medicine, whose doctors and trainers can help you become the athlete you want to be. Learn more at strongerfasterbetter.org. So Kathleen getting ready to kick off, and it'll be another critical defensive series. You can see the momentum start to pick up here on this side. We're on the home sideline here in the press box. And the Kathleen fans are really energized after that run, because for a while there, after that just daunting 97-yard drive for Lakeland, it appeared to look pretty bleak for Kathleen, who hadn't gotten much offensively. But it's funny how this game, one play and everything can change, and here they are, down just 1 touchdown with plenty of time left in the fourth quarter.
Will that drive rejuvenate the defensive line of the Red Devils? That's the question, because that was really where it mattered in that 97-yard drive, was not being able to stop those inside runs.
Mata with the big leg, but this one landing around the 20-yard line. And that one broken out. Nice return by Robert Smith, the running back, handling kick return duties tonight. Gets it down to a 48-yard line. Huge return, setting up great field position for Lakeland.
Well, huge return, but they kicked the ball off from the 25-yard line. Why'd they do that? Not being disciplined there late in on the 2-point conversion, getting themselves a penalty, and then kick from the 25, and you give Lakeland the ball at the 47-yard line. So that's not too good coming off of that big momentum-turning touchdown and 2-point conversion.
All right, so they'll start from their own 47-yard line, looks like, and the Lakeland offense being held up here by the officials for just a moment, and we're ready to go.
Will the Red Devils take any chances on defense? You know, they're going to have to play downhill football to stop it.
That's Smith with the give, about 5 yards on the play. Let's head it down to Ryan. It's been a physical game, Ryan, and a couple dinged up players for Kathleen.
Yeah, Kevin Wilson, their defensive back, he had an ankle sprain, his left ligament in his ankle. No tear, though, the trainer said, but it is sprained. His return to this game, it doesn't seem likely. As for Frood Sennett, he also has a sprained left ankle. I talked to him. He said that it's hard for him to get down in his stance. He doesn't have ice on it right now, but the tape is off, so we'll see if he goes back in. Adam?
All right, a couple ankles there, and not looking good for the Kathleen defense. A couple key guys on the defense being knocked out of the game, and not looking good for their return. And Walker here continues to run the football.
Wilson for Kathleen, who did hurt his ankle, tried to walk on it just seconds ago, and he couldn't do it. He tried to put weight on it and sat right back down. So that's not good for him or his soon-to-be basketball career when this season wraps up next Wednesday night. But bring up a third short here for Lakeland. And what we talked about on third short, Adam? What's the play call?
It's going to be a quarterback sneak. I mean, when you have a 375-yard center.
No need to go do anything else. No need to get fancy. Just protect the football.
It looks like we've got
delay game on the
big
offense.
mistake.
5-yard penalty.
That's a
still third down.
Massive mistake by Lakeland, and it sure seemed like it came fast. I mean, it didn't seem like they were slowing down. And wow,
quick whistle there, and yeah, that makes that quarterback sneak irrelevant now. As they're 3rd and 5, maybe 3rd and 6 coming up. Could be a huge stop for the Red Devils if they can get their offense back on the field.
Absolutely. Walker's done a pretty good job on the rollouts tonight. He's found space both with his feet and throwing the ball. He's been relatively accurate. I think he had one drop on a good rollout play. That's another.
That ball's on the ground. It's coughed up, but Lakeland's able to fall on top of it. But nonetheless, it's going to be 4th and 7 now after that fumbled snap.
Look, they had 11 men moving in motion. You should have seen how many guys were actually moving on that play. That should have been a 5-yard penalty. Beyond that, there wasn't anybody set on the Lakeland team there.
We talk about how costly that delay of game ends up being, because now you have to worry about the handoff and the exchange, and they weren't able to get it, so now they're punting.
Yeah, go from automatic first down to punt the ball away.
Punt again. Had trouble with the punt, but he was able to recover it down around the 15-yard line, and that's where the Kathleen offense is going to start after Marquis Zimmerman's able to hang on to the football there on the return.
Yeah, it looked like he just might have taken just a glance, but he had the ball out a little bit away from his body. Punt returning is, I think, it's the most difficult job in football. People don't really realize how the ball flies. You know, it doesn't just turn over like a pass, and it can be extremely difficult. But here we go, senior quarterback time. Stand up and play well. Ferrier get an opportunity to beat his arch rival. Never been done.
Yeah, we really haven't called Jaquan Harrison's name since the first quarter. He's their top recruit. He's going to Virginia Tech in a couple of years. He's a junior. Caught the first touchdown of the game, but since then really been sort of quiet as they go back to the run game. That's Anthony Ware stringing a couple broken tackles down to the 43-yard line. A huge run there by Anthony Ware. Actually,
Ferrier took that as a quarterback keeper. Faked it on the motion, and then goes up the middle and a lot of space, and he's done. Here's a plays from the night. He's had a number of different things. That's a good throw to the outside. That was short on a first down effort. Here's the 2-point conversion. Gets there, gives his team a chance now with one score away, and then that last play was just clean right up the middle. Got him out of a deep hole out to the 40-yard line.
We talked about Kathleen wearing down. Right now it looks like the Lakeland defense is getting knocked back a little bit. Just as I say that, Anthony Ware's dropped for about maybe a 1-yard gain.
Yeah, I was looking for Ferrier to come right out here towards us, running right at us on that play. Gave it away. Still got a couple positive yards. That's better than they have done most of the night on 1st and 10.
So inside of 9 minutes of play, still plenty of time for Kathleen. Big drive here for the Red Devils, coming off that huge run by Ravonte Johnson to get this within a 1-score game.
How would this be, though, to cap off the senior quarterback's career to beat Lakeland? Same with Johnson on that big touchdown run to give him the chance to get back in this thing.
There's Jaquan Harrison, but not a lot of blocking out there for him. It looks like they're going to blow the play good.
Yeah, the design of that paled in comparison to the one that he scored on in the first half, where he faked to the left, spun back to the right. It gave him enough time to let his players get out in front. This time he turns and throws it straight to him, and his blockers were too far behind the play. That was not going to be good, even if it was high enough for him to catch the ball. That was not going to be a positive play.
So another 3rd and long coming up for Kathleen, and once again, number 13, they're trying to get him into the offense. We'll see if they look his way one more time on a critical 3rd down for the Red Devils.
Now he's in the slot. He hasn't been in the slot much at all tonight, if at all.
He's looking his way. Harrison's got it, but it's well short of the sticks, as that was just a short hitch route. Settled down right around the 48-yard line. Take a look at this route here, Jeff.
Well, they moved him, and that's a good thing. But they just asked him they asked him to go 4 yards short of the first down, so they put themselves in a 4th and 3.
Looks like they're trotting out Mata, their punter, to come out and kick the football. And with a one-score game with plenty of time left, pretty easy call for Coach Strickland there.
Yeah, I hope that Lakeland makes a mistake and they can get him to stop, get another stop on him.
Mata was able to get that rugby kick to bounce kind of squirrely in the first quarter that caused a turnover, and he's going to go for that same style again, as kind of bouncing the ball down the field. He's going to take another great hop down inside just at the 11-yard line. Another nice punt by Mata, limiting the return but also getting good yardage once it hits the ground.
Hey, I'm going to say this out loud right now. If Kathleen pulls off this win, Mata's the player of the game.
Wow.
He deserves a football helmet. He has been the most valuable player of this football game and this football team tonight.
To quote Rich Eisen, punters are people too, and certainly Mata having a big impact tonight, as he's had a couple big punts that pins Lakeland's offense deep in their own territory.
Now here's the question. Who makes the mistake? Does Lakeland make it on themselves, or does Kathleen force the mistake? Because that was a self-inflicted wound on that 3rd and 1 and a delay of game. That's on yourself.
They're going to go right back to the ground game, and that's Smith picking up about 5 yards on the play. Lakeland content to continue to run the ball right at the Kathleen defensive line. And that front four have certainly been battered tonight, as they've been kind of gashed all up and down the field. The Lakeland rushing attack is strong tonight, and it certainly has been all year.
Well, and you can see why they get the delay of game. Again, Walker has to run all the way to the sideline and all the way back, and by the 4th quarter you start getting tired. You might slow it down a couple steps, and then you're really playing close to the vest as far as time goes.
This time Walker's going to keep it himself. He's got a lane. Picks up the first down and more, breaks a few more tackles. He's still on his feet out to the 35-yard line. Tough run by the senior quarterback.
Yeah, really good job, and he did a nice job keeping the ball tight. I think he gets it to his left arm here. There he goes. He switched it to his left, did a nice job keeping it close, picking up the first down.
Lakeland moves the sticks here as the clock is now starting to turn into their favor, especially if they can get some points out of this drive, but still a long ways to go, as they've got about 65 yards before they can start thinking about running it in again.
Yeah, they like to say Kathleen might only get the ball back one more time. Depends on how this drive goes.
High formation here for Lakeland, and one more time it's off to Smith, who's hit right around the 35-yard line, maybe a yard on the play.
Yeah, you're right. That's it. 1 yard. Nice job, Kathleen up front. These guys have been hanging in there tough. Playing a lot of good defense all night long, and they really haven't done anything special. They just played solid. They haven't been blitzing their linebackers and shooting gaps and doing all that kind of stuff. So they played a solid defensive effort tonight.
Should be a very interesting final 6 minutes of play in Polk County's best. It's been 20 years since Kathleen last beat Lakeland in this huge rivalry game, and right now 6 minutes away and a touchdown away, Jeff. We're making this one interesting. We knew we'd get a good game, and thus far, we've got a great one here, as Kathleen showed a lot of fight here in the 4th quarter.
Well, and Kathleen went for that 2-point conversion, so if they do score a touchdown, I only expect them to go for 2 and go for the win.
That's a big run, another big run by Lakeland, as they continue to run some misdirection, and Isaiah Walker is able to pick up another first down. Quite a game Isaiah Walker's had. He has a nice touchdown pass, but he's also getting it done on the ground, as the quarterback went into the game with 650 rushing yards, and he's adding to that total tonight.
Well, people, I don't think, like to be called game managers, but he's doing a great job of just managing the game through the air, through the run, you know, distributing the ball, giving it to the different receivers, running the running game, getting them in the right formations, in and out of the huddle. So he's done a good job of managing this game for Coach Castle.
The Lakeland offense is keeping us on our toes. We really never know who's going to get the football, and right now it's Robert Smith breaking it out to the outside, and they are getting big chunks here in the 4th quarter. Back-to-back plays of over 10 yards, and you can see them just wearing down that front four for Kathleen. This time it's Robert Smith doing the damage.
Well, think about it. They had that long drive, almost the length of the field, only 3 yards short of it, and then Johnson scored on that long run real quick, so they barely sat down before they were back out on the field, so very tough.
They're also missing Kevin Wilson, their free safety, who's been knocked out of the game with a left ankle injury, so that's another defensive starter that hasn't been able to come into the game to provide that run support. Robert Smith, we've talked about the rushing yards for the quarterback. There's 88 yards for the senior running back, and we could even pull up or down Dwight's numbers, and he's got the rushing touchdown. And Huggins, I mean, they just keep coming at you, Jeff. Huggins got 73 yards, so balanced rushing attack here for the Lakeland Dreadnaughts, as they've got another first down now inside the 40-yard line of Kathleen.
Yeah, when you say balanced, that means it equals fresh legs to me. You know, you got one guy gets it, then the next guy, then the next guy, and it gets tiring on the other side when you're trying to defend it.
Well, Greg Abrams now walking slowly off the field, so that's two players from the Kathleen secondary that have come off the field limping a little gingerly. Abrams looks to be okay right now, just looking at those pictures, not quite as severe as the Kevin Wilson injury. We'll have to see if he can check back in the game.
And Adam, you mentioned 3 running backs for a balanced attack, and put Walker's name into that running back attack as well. You know, he's a quarterback, but he's run the ball a number of times, so it's an extremely balanced attack with 4 different guys.
One guy in motion here is Lakeland. Looks like we got a flag out, and we got a timeout on the play. Bill Castle wants to talk this one over. He's going to use the timeout here with 5 minutes left in the 4th quarter. His team looking to put this game away with the touchdown if they can get it. Right now they've got 38 yards to go. Lakeland worried about this game, yes, but you can be assured that Bill Castle certainly has started putting notes together on his first round opener on the road. Take a look at the Dreadnaughts' path. You know, year in, year out, they seem to make deep runs, but they certainly have a tough task against an undefeated Osceola team that is in their 6th straight postseason game and the #2 ranked team in our Orlando viewing area. So they're a team that knows how to win state championships. Lakeland clearly, with their 6 state titles, knows how to win championships. So that should be a heck of a ball game as well next Friday night at Osceola.
Yeah, they knew that they were going to have to see Osceola by the 2nd round, so Coach Castle kind of downplaying the loss from last week and going in as runners-up. But, you know, something that Coach Castle, this team has been able to absorb more mistakes over the past years because of their big play potential. Now that they're not as big play, not as able to absorb those mistakes. They got to play mistake-free football if they want to go deep into the playoffs and win a state title.
Huggins picks up 6 yards in the play. Let's get on to Ryan Bass to get an update on Greg Abrams.
Yeah, Abrams right now jogging around. He was sitting down, had a left foot problem, and talked to the trainer, says, hey, I want to go back in. Trainer right now is having him run up and down the field, but he's sitting back down, so we'll see if Abrams will be back in the ball game, Adam.
Abrams, one of their senior cornerbacks, 2 interceptions on the year. He has offers from South Alabama and Duke, so a D1 football player, and you can bet that defense, if he can, wants him out there on the field. We got 2nd and 6 coming up, and this give to Smith. Smith right through the middle of the line, picking up what looks to be another first down for Lakeland.
And the clock keeps rolling along. So, you know, Kathleen was a quick strike the last time they got the ball to get within the 7, but that's not always going to happen. You know, just get limited opportunities, but they just keep running downhill.
Here's the duo, Robert Smith and Braxton Huggins. Both guys chasing that 100-yard mark and could easily do it, both of them here on this drive. And then you talk about the 3rd member of that running back trio, Radon Dwight, the sophomore, has the 1 touchdown for Lakeland.
He's only 5'9", 180. Looks like a pretty thick neck.
Yeah.
Tough stud guy inside there, but not very big.
There he is again when they need it. 3rd and short. They give it to Huggins, and he gets way more than he needed, picking up another big first down.
Going to have to create a mistake. I asked you that when we started this drive. What's going to happen? Well, Kathleen is going to have to create the mistake. Lakeland's not going to make it. You're going to have to create that mistake and give their offense a chance to get back on offense and make something happen.
You start looking at that clock, and it's ticking. 3:22 left in the game. Down 1 touchdown. They probably can't afford one more. It's Robert Smith here, as Lakeland is content to continue just to pound the ball. 96 yards, closing in on the century mark for the senior running back, who went into the game with 621 yards and 3 touchdowns, averaging about 5 yards a carry.
Well, again, not big plays, but just solid. They've done a nice job with that, so they're gonna be a handful for Osceola to deal with to keep moving it out. I like the ball outside more often, but they Huggins does a nice job with inside running.
Another long drive for Lakeland. This time it's Walker. Walker barreling his way down inside the 10-yard line, but let's take a look at the flags. This one could be coming back.
That looks like the only way to get stopped right now is stopping themselves.
Been a disciplined football game so far, Jeff. We haven't seen a lot of holding calls for a team that's really been running the ball successfully. So either they're not throwing the flags or credit that offensive line for plugging holes and not having to do it by grabbing onto jerseys.
Holding on the offense, 10-yard penalty, still second down.
Yeah, that's one thing. The inside running generally allows the players to block and not get a lot of calls. I mean, they can still throw them if they want to. They can still probably, like they say in the pros, they can throw a flag on every single play for holding if they felt like it, but they've been doing a good job inside. A lot of times when you do spread things out, that's when the offensive line gets in bad positions and they reach out and grab. So far, they've done a nice job, as you said.
Huge couple plays right here. 2nd and 14. They've got the field long. They're going to give it to Smith. He outruns the first line of defense, but they're going to bring him down. Maybe a 3-yard gain. It could have been a horse collar, but no flag on the play. So a nice stop there by Kathleen. Huge 3rd and long coming up here for Lakeland.
I think that was Antonio Jenkins. I don't know if I got the number right, but you said he outran the first line of defense. He did it. That defender, he got turned around. He was running around the corner, and the defender did an incredible job to get back down the line of scrimmage and just, I don't know if he even picked up any yards, but it was a nice shot. There he is right there, 47, and that is who he said. Antonio Jenkins, senior linebacker, did a great job, made him get outside, or at least he chose to go outside, and then he was able to close him off and not get a gain.
I want to remind you this copyrighted broadcast is produced by Bright House Sports Network. It is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or any other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of Bright House Sports Network is prohibited. So a huge play, Jeff. I mean, this very well could determine the game. 3rd and long. Lakeland needs to pick up that first down to really run the clock down to maybe 1 minute or inside of a minute. And if Kathleen can somehow get a stop here, they got that 2-minute offense that's worked in the past. Perhaps one last drive for the season.
Well, that's what you said. Their offense is set up. They practice it as every single play of their offense for the whole season is built to do that, is to go do something quick in 2 minutes. So absolutely. And 4th and 15 is not, or this is 3rd and 15, I guess.
They're going to stick with the run game. It's Walker pulling it up the middle. He's not going to get the first down, maybe a 6-yard pickup. So it could be a field goal. We know Coach Castle doesn't like to kick the ball that often. He said he's comfortable with Caleb Ho kicking up to 40 yards. So right now that would be just around his comfort level. So we'll have to see what Coach Castle decides to call here on 4th and long.
Well, Coach Strickland did the right thing in calling a timeout because they're going to save a good 30 seconds here where on offense you can manage the clock. In high school football especially, because it's going to stop every time you get a first down and you get out of bounds, where they save a lot of the clock right here by not allowing Lakeland to run it down on their 4th down.
Well, Hote went there, trotted out there with the tee before he got called back to the huddle. So it appears to be Coach Castle's calling for the field goal, which would be, let's see, the ball spotted right now around the 25-yard line. So it would be certainly at the extent
41 to 42-yard field goal. I don't think I kicked that. I don't think I would do that. But you know, actually, well, you're only going to gain, even if he misses it, it goes through the end zone. The ball's going to come out to the 20, so you're going to have an 80-yard drive. But you could also probably get the ball out inside the 10-yard line, and they can go 90+. But let's take a look and see what Coach Castle decides to do. What 37 years of coaching experience tells you.
In comes the kicker, so they're going to put it on the senior kicker, Caleb Howe, and we'll see if he can ice this game. It goes through the uprights. It's a done deal. A 10-point lead with inside of 2 minutes. Extremely hard to come back from that. So,
and a blocked field goal that goes back the distance right now could also spell disaster. So
his range was 40. Here's a 41-yarder. Does it have the distance? Wide right. Kathleen still alive here. They're going to get the ball around the 20-yard line as the Red Devils will have 1 minute and 54 seconds to try to drive the field and get a touchdown.
Very, very close on this field goal.
Just pulled it a bit right.
right into home. If you got a 3D screen, I've never watched TV on
that one might have been good if you brought it in an extra 10 yards. Just kind of tailed off to the right. So coach certainly knew that he was taking a risk with his kicker, trying him out there for a 41-yarder. But again, you build your team around defense, and he has faith that his defense can stop the Kathleen offense.
Well, this is the defense. They put this out there. You see those 3 guys back. They did this throughout the game. Different things. They've thrown different looks at Ferrier.
Ferrier smacked right as he's throwing it. They're going to say that was a forward pass. The officials are going to say his arm was going forward when he was popped. It was close.
Very questionable. Very questionable. He made the pump fake. Let's see this. He makes a pump fake. Oh,
nice pressure by Jalen
That could have been
Stevens.
called either way, and I don't know if I would have. That to me is a fumble. Came out. The ball flew forward, but I don't think he had been making a throwing motion.
Nice play by Stevenson. We haven't called his name too much, but he is the career record holder for sacks for the Lakeland program. That's saying something considering all the defensive players that have come through this program. Had 25 sacks last year, Jeff. He has about 10 sacks this year.
Yeah, that was a record, and then he's got the career record with the 10 tonight. I mean, the 10 over the season. Made the big hit there. Third and 3.
3rd and 3, obviously 4-down territory, but right now you're probably more worried about the clock as the clock continues to tick down inside 1 minute and 20 seconds to go. Kathleen's just converted 1 first down all game out of 8 chances. This one overthrown, intended for Marquise Zinnerman. Had a step on him, but just wasn't able to hit him in stride.
Yeah, but TJ Simmons, he went under it, and I thought made a good play on that. I thought he was going to look to the opposite side on just a little square in to pick up the first down. This was more of a guy running away from the quarterback, and Simmons stepped inside and underneath it and didn't give him much of an angle to throw the ball on. So here it is for all the marbles, 4th down.
All right, 4th and 3. The game is on the line here for Trey Ferrier, the senior quarterback, trying to extend the team's season, the team's game. And here we go, Ferrier reaching out for the first down. It looks like he got it. Nice play by the quarterback.
He got there. I'm not sure why he tried to make it that way. The receiver on the right side was uncovered. Would have been an easy first down pickup. This is a called quarterback draw.
No, they're not moving real quick right now offensively. As you can see, that clock is now inside of a minute. They're going to need to speed this up a little bit, don't you think, Jeff?
Well, yeah, they're going to have to decide on a formation so everybody can come back and get set, not have to think about it. Just go back and get it set up.
Rolling out, has some time. Has a man, but just not able to find him there in space. So that'll stop the clock at 48 seconds, but they need to start picking up some bigger chunks of yardage here.
Yeah, the scoreboard still says 3 timeouts, but they don't have 3 because they took that one at the 2-minute mark to stop the clock against Lakeland. So we know they don't have 3 timeouts. I don't know how many other ones they've taken.
All right, so 2nd and 10 here. They keep it 4 wide. And once again, you want to keep an eye on number 13, Jaquan Harrison. They're going to pay plenty of attention to him, but he's certainly by far the best receiver on the field tonight. Wide open on the other side of the field is Roderick Hayes. Gets out of bounds.
Did a good job getting as much as he could before getting out of bounds.
It's real close.
He gave him a first down.
Call it 3rd and maybe a foot. Ooh, so that's a tough call here for coach.
Very tough because you need to pick up that first down. You don't want to get 4th and inches when you still want to throw the ball and get moving. So this is probably a quarterback draw. You're going to put yourself in a bad situation on 4th down if you don't improve this pass.
All right, Ferrier last time picked it up with his feet. This time dropping back. He's thrown in the middle of the field. Great snag by Jaquan Harrison. Jaquan Harrison's off. Down the 20, 15, 10. He's gone.
Oh, my
Harrison
gosh.
with a touchdown with 34 seconds left.
What a call on 3rd and inches as well. And now, what do? Do you go to overtime?
Wow.
Oh, no.
Huge
There's
play.
flags again. We've had flags on every touchdown play, I think. What a snag and what a run. You think Virginia Tech is excited?
Jaquan Harrison with the play of his career. Diving into the end zone. They're going to throw the flag
what the flag's
for excessive celebration, diving across the goal line. So the referees are going to talk about how to evaluate this penalty, but that's a tough call because he sees these guys in college. He sees them good in the NFL.
Well, you know what? I don't know what he knows about how close he had a defender.
Right.
I don't think you throw a flag because I don't think that was a celebration. I think he's trying to get to the end zone.
I think the referees are going to talk this one over. We'll see if they leave it on the play. We'll hear what the head official has to say. But
that's a very tough call because he was being chased.
He's forced to here. Touchdown's good.
So that's
okay, y'all have a choice here.
I think that's a poor call. Yeah, he's getting chased by Lakeland Dreadnaughts. You know what it's like to get chased by Lakeland Dreadnaughts? Obviously, that referee's never been chased by one of those guys. He doesn't know how much room he has. He's not looking at a scoreboard. You know how in the NFL, guys are running. They can see the scoreboard behind him. He doesn't know. He dives in the end zone and puts the score on there. I think that's and now look what it does. It changes the game completely because you were going for 1 to score to tie, or you go for 2 from the 3-yard line. Now you're backed up. This is I think it changes the game, and I think it's a bad call by the referees.
A game like this you hate, especially with a play like this. You hate to have it be decided by an officiating crew, and if it's a borderline call, they have to swallow the whistle.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that he knew he wasn't going to get tackled. The way he dove in, he knew it. But man, oh man, what a tough call.
Well, you talked about your player of the game. He's lined up to kick a game-tying extra point here. As Junior Mata is going to try from a long distance, a 35-yard extra point. Mata puts a leg into it, and that ball is good. Junior Mata with a huge extra point, and we are all tied up at 21.
Obviously, Jaquan Harrison has had a fantastic game. I wish they would have found more ways to get him the ball throughout the game. They probably would have won going away. But Mata is the MVP of this night for the Kathleen Red Devils.
I could vouch for a co-MVP here because
this is a great catch. That's a great catch and run.
I mean, outstretched over the middle of the field, exposing himself.
Well, if we can cut the helmet in half or come up with a second helmet, I'm all for it, because they deserve it. Both guys were fabulous. But Mata, I'm telling you, he was called upon more often. You think about how many times Mata has had to kick that ball and then that critical extra point to give him a chance possibly to go to overtime here.
Yeah, Mata with a couple big punts. The first punt of the night resulted in a turnover because he's used that rugby style, so he got the team ball back, and that resulted in a touchdown. So you could argue that Mata's helped contribute to this 21-point score here for Kathleen almost as much as Jaquan Harrison, who's made 2 incredible plays for 2 touchdowns. Just a great game, Jeff. We knew this thing would be close. We knew Lakeland has won for 20 straight years, but here we are inside of a minute to play, and Kathleen, who's really fighting just for pride, just for bragging rights. They're not going to the playoffs, and here they are, tied 21-21 to a team they haven't beaten 20 years.
Well, a pretty impressive senior class for the Red Devils. They're going out with class here. They're not going to onside kick this. At least I wouldn't do it if I was coaching.
See if Mata even gives him a chance to return. He's had a lot of touchbacks so far tonight. That big leg, you can see it on that extra point. This guy's going to be playing football somewhere in college. He's just a sophomore, Jeff, so he's got 2 more years to hone his craft, but already showing no nerve as a sophomore kicker. Nice boot. That one going to trail right at the goal line and take it out to a 20-yard line. Let's go to Rock Riley checking in that Plant Robinson game.
All right, Adam and Jeff, you got a good one there. We got a good one here. Robinson and Plant. This is quarterback Zane Gilmore of Robinson. He puts it in from 1 yard out. So now Robinson is in front over Plant, 24-20. Adam, Jeff?
How about that? Robinson back on top, an undefeated season, aiming for, and that South Tampa rivalry with Plant is also one of the better ones in our area. But it's hard to beat this game right here, Jeff. You talk about 2 Polk County teams that are just 4.5 miles apart from each other, and it's going to maybe take extra time to decide the winner of this one.
I think we're going to see a lot more football tonight from the 25-yard line going in.
Yes, sir. We're going to have overtime as Lakeland content to take a knee and play to that overtime. And that's as the clock appears to be running down, and it is. So should be very interesting. Bill Castle's played a few overtime games this year already. They've come out on top in every overtime game this season. Of course, they had a heartbreaking loss last week with the final 2 minutes to go. This time it's not a heartbreaking loss, but a real tough defensive stand there for Lakeland as Jaquan Harrison's able to get the final touchdown to tie this game up. Well, nobody has left, and for good reason here at Johnny Johnson Stadium. 21-21 after 48 minutes of football. That is not long enough, and gives us a chance to explain to you the rules of high school overtime. And you talk about it's similar to the college game where you've got a coin toss for the offense. We'll get to that in a second. Let's talk to Ryan, who really is down there in the thick of things on the Kathleen side.
Yeah, the side they're imploding right now. Coach is excited. He's trying to pump his guys up. You know, after Jaquan Harrison had that play, that controversial flag, he had his head down, walked over to the kicker, patted him on his back, and said, "Do this for me, buddy." Well, made the kick, and the sideline exploded. So, as you can tell, everyone's excited right now.
It's Ryan. He's getting it going.
It's a good game, a great game here in the final one of the regular season. Well, let's get back to those overtime rules a little bit, Jeff. Each team's going to get one possession from their opponent's 25-yard line. There will be no clock. It's just a play clock running only. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Now you have to attempt a two-point conversion like college, starting with the third overtime. And we'll flip a coin to decide who's going to start with the football and who's going to be on defense first. So alternating possessions, and we'll just see who's going to come out on top. And at this moment, does Kathleen have any edge? Do they have the momentum after scoring 14 fourth-quarter points to tie this game?
Very well could be. Very well.
Irving Strickland giving his guys some advice there as the Kathleen Red Devils were fired up for this one. No player on this roster was even born the last time that Kathleen beat Lakeland. Not even close to it, really, 1992. So they're going to try to do something that nobody's ever done here in the last 20 years, and that's saying a lot because Kathleen's put out some good football teams throughout the years, but Lakeland just somehow has had their number.
Well, it's always good to come see games like this played to this level. You know, we talked about it being sloppy, but then the end of the game comes down and it becomes this great battle. And this is why I like coming to high school football games. And Coach Strickland pretty happy right now talking to the camera.
Daddy love you. Daddy love both of y'all. You ain't taking.
Coach Strickland,
how you like me now?
How about that? He's showing no nerves there. His team's rallied back. 14-point deficit. They got the two-point conversion early on. They got the long extra point.
And think about this. It came down to 3rd and inches for Lakeland. They're going to go with a quarterback sneak, ice the game. They got a delay of game, and it changed everything.
You're the visitor again, so you had the choice at the coin toss. You want heads or tails? He called heads. If I drop it, we'll do it again.
Which one is heads? Which one is tails? That's heads.
See the zebra head?
Yes, sir.
All right, that's a head.
Okay, okay.
Okay. He called heads. If I drop it, we'll do it again. We're going to do it again. You still say head, right?
You should just let it hit the ground. Don't only catch it.
It is tails. You win the toss.
I want my defense out there first.
Okay. Which end do you want to play on? That end? Okay. I want you to turn like this.
How about that? Playing the percentages, you get the defense out there first, so you know exactly what you have to do. If the other team kicks or scores the touchdown, obviously that's the percentage play there, but big win for Kathleen to be able to start on defense.
I always thought the referee let the point hit the ground so you don't have that flip. You know, oh, catch it in your open hand. Oh, it's heads. Oh, wait, flip it over. And now it's tails. Which one do you want?
You think Coach Strickland made sure he knew which side was heads and tails just so they wouldn't pull any funny business on him?
I think it's smart to know. I think it's smart to know.
Absolutely. Sometimes the ref might confuse himself.
Well, now, you know, they determine the call before they even flip the coin now.
Yep.
That
the Jerome Bettis rule,
exactly right. That's exactly right.
So
well, that's not what I said. No, I meant tails.
Lakeland football. Going to start here at the, looks like they're going to start at the 10-yard line. So I take that back. They're going to start the ball from the 10-yard line. We're all on our toes here, changing up the overtime rules. So here we go. It's the handoff. Actually, it's the quarterback keeper, Isaiah Walker, drugged down for a loss. Kathleen is fired up. Big play there.
But he didn't keep it. He didn't win anywhere with it. It was deep in the backfield. Watch this. That's the dive option, but boy, oh boy. Deep in the backfield on the tackle. Yeah, the 25-yard line, I guess that's college rules. That's what we're all used to seeing from the 25-yard line. Putting it at the 10 is not too far to work. Changes the game completely.
Second and goal from the 14. They're going to run a little trick play, a little reverse option. He's got a lot of ground to go, and that's going to be a touchdown, Lakeland. Nice little trick play there as they're able to score a touchdown on Jaquan Perkins, the junior wideout coming across the field. And Bill Castle had that one in his back pocket, and he used it at the right time.
He sure did, but that used to be a staple in the regular season. They would run that, in every game, throw that reverse in there. Wait until overtime. It makes it look easy.
We hadn't seen anything even close to that so far tonight, and you can bet Kathleen.
Did you see that? I hope he came out of there unscathed.
Kathleen did not know what hit him on that play. Nice play called by Bill Castle. You can see why the guy has won 369 football games in his 37-year career. Great call by the head coach, and that's going to give Lakeland a 28-21 lead, and Kathleen now will have to respond with a touchdown.
What kind of offense does Kathleen run when they only need 10 yards, though? Do they get conservative? What do? Stay in the shotgun?
We haven't seen them a lot because their touchdowns have come from so far away. They haven't been in the red zone too much tonight, so we don't really know. Are they going to throw it up in the corner of the pylons? They're going to try to target their big receiver that already has 2 touchdowns. Javon Harrison, obviously a few long plays, but we'll see if they try to get the ball to him here in the short yard.
Well, and the secondary doesn't have to play off. They don't have to respect Harrison's speed anymore, right? They can come up on him, keep it nice and tight, because you saw how fast and got around the edge. They're going to stay in the shotgun formation, 2 backs in the backfield.
You got Harrison at the top of your screen, singled out one-on-one coverage. And it's Ferrier handing the ball off. Got a room is Ravonta Johnson, and 1 play in, Johnson is into the end zone for a score just like that. Kathleen answers. 27-28, extra point pending here for Junior Mata, or do you go for 2 in the win? We're going to trot Mata out, so he's going to kick the extra point.
Yeah, I guess you wait. The thought process is you just wait till you're forced to go for the 2-point conversion, which I'm surprised it's not forced in the second overtime instead of the third, because now you go through the same thing.
Interesting that Kathleen's going to call the timeout here. I don't know if you want to ice your own kicker, or maybe he's really second-guessing. Maybe he does want to try to end the game right now.
I think it's a good thing to think about. And you know what? Why not end it? You know what I mean? You're going to keep playing for the tie, You got to beat Lakeland. And one of these times you're going to have to go for it. Well, if you get to the third overtime and Lakeland has to go for 2 and they get 2, all you're trying to do is play to match. So I think you go for 2 and try to end this thing right here and now.
Real quick, we can go to Rock Riley in the BHSN studios with an update.
All right, Adam, this one has been going back and forth. Again, Plant and Robinson. Watch this play by the quarterback, Aaron Banks. He reverses his field. He breaks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tackles, 12-yard touchdown. The extra point, no good. Plant now in front, 26-24, boys.
All right, look at that. We're back, and it looks like Kathleen is going to try to end the game right here on the 2-point conversion. They succeeded the first time as Treyu Ferrier won the race to the pylon. We'll see what they dial up here. Now it's Lakeland's turn to talk about it here as they take a timeout on the Dreadnaught side. So they're showing 2-point conversion here, Jeff, and with the home field and the momentum in your favor, Irvin Strickland's trying to dial up a winner. Yeah, well, the formation they came out with it concerns me just from the fact that because it's at the 3-yard line, the defense doesn't have to do much. So it's going to be, I think, it has to be a pass out of that formation unless they come out with a different formation and try to cross up Lakeland now that they took their timeout. But, like I said, everybody's squeezed up now. You got only 13 yards from the line of scrimmage to the back of the end zone. So the defense is squished up, and there's just not a lot of room for these guys to run. And so what kind of a pass play do you dial up to get this, or do you run a pass play at all? But if they're spread out, you don't have the blockers that you need to take care of those guys inside. Jeff, we saw Bill Castle with that creative call to get the touchdown in that first overtime. Do you think that this is a straight-up play, or do you think this is something that might be a little trickery here for Kathleen? I'd be running a play where you're blocking somebody off and trying to sneak a guy free. We call them a rub play or whatever, but you'd have one guy trying to take off a linebacker so that you can get an open guy, get a clean look for the quarterback. All right, here it is. Here's the ball game. It's Ferrier cutting it upfield, trying to get to the goal line, stuffed by the Lakeland Dreadnaught defense, and they're going to push him back and extend that streak 20 years. Surprising call. The call itself, I'm glad they went for 2. I'm just surprised they went with the quarterback draw in that situation. Not enough blockers to make the play, and Lakeland stands up and
keeps the streak alive.
From the highest of highs to some pretty lows for Kathleen. They had the game right there. Let's take a look at how close they got. Trey Ferrier scored on a run, the first two-point conversion. And there you see it, not even to the 2-yard line before the Lakeland defense, which has bottled up so many runs inside the guards, does it one more time.
His eyes were all about the run, so I guess it was a called draw, quarterback draw. Thought they might go with more of a run-pass option instead of just a run option.
Well, one of the better games in this rivalry's long, storied history, and once again, Lakeland somehow, some way, finds a way to win this game 28-27. Jeff, when you talk about the MVP on the Lakeland side, do you like the quarterback there, or do you give it to someone else?
Wow. Well, did a nice job. Isaiah Walker did a nice job. He's a senior quarterback. He did a nice job managing this game all the way through. And like I said, it was so balanced across the board. I guess you go with the quarterback in this situation.
Just a great rushing attack for Lakeland, and that really was the difference. That and that strong defensive stand late on the 2-point.
The Bright House Sports Network Game of the Week is presented by Subway Restaurants. Subway Restaurants continue to offer the best deal in town. Get a 6-inch sub, 21-ounce drink, and a bag of chips for only $4.50. Subway, play hard, eat fresh.
An instant classic here at Kathleen High School as the Dreadnaughts just barely get past the Red Devils in overtime. 28-27. Our Ryan Bass is standing by with Coach Castle and our player of the game.
Coach Castle, a fantastic game. Talk about your defense there, that stop at they were trying to go for 2 to win it.
Well, our defense has been tough all year, and they really played hard tonight. And we gave up some big plays, but they came through when it counted.
After the loss last week, it's unthinkable to think Lakeland could have back-to-back losses. What did your guys do to stick this one out and get this win tonight?
Our offense really kind of stepped it up tonight and took a lot of time off the clock. And they're a real opponent on offense, and just very proud of our whole football team, the way they kept their composure at the end of the game.
You've had so many close games this season. I know it's been crazy for you. How does that prepare you going into the playoffs?
One of those years, but bottom line is our kids ought to be mentally tough by going and doing what we've been going through. But, they've got a lot of heart, and really proud of our whole football team.
Thank you, Coach. I appreciate it. Isaiah Walker, our player of the game. Congratulations, by the way, buddy. So just first of all, talk about your offense, managing the game, and just what you guys had to do out there to get this win.
Oh, man. We did what we had to do. The offensive line started out blocking good. And once we do that, we know with our backs and our receivers, we can make it happen on the offensive side of the ball.
How about your defense in that huge stand there on that 2-pointer? What were you thinking? What was going through your mind?
I didn't want to watch the play because they play great. They always play great. They've been helping us and saving us all season. And I want to thank the offensive line for giving our team the help that we needed, because the defense has been begging for help all season, and I feel like we did it tonight.
How big of a win coming off the loss last week was this to propel you guys into the playoffs?
This is great. This is a win I've been waiting for all my life.
Congratulations, our player of the game. Isaiah, here's your helmet for you, buddy. Great performance tonight. You get the victory, makes it 21 straight over Kathleen. Thanks, bud. Adam, back to you.
Thanks, Ryan. How about that? You talk about, does this rivalry game mean anything to Lakeland? Clearly, it means something to these guys, and especially that young man right there, knowing the significance of it and the importance of getting this win to close out the regular season.
Yeah, I saw his emotion after his touchdown throw, and I just like, wow, that's what high school football is all about. Great to hear it from him.
It's one of those where you hate to see a loser, because Kathleen played probably one of maybe their best game of the year here on the losing end, 28-27. We want to thank everyone that tuned into Bright House Sports Network to watch this game. We appreciate it, and we will be with you throughout the playoffs all the way up to the state championship. But for right now, at Johnny Johnson Stadium with Ryan Bass on the sidelines, Jeff Carlson here doing the color commentary. I'm Adam Kohler. Thank you so much for watching. Lakeland closes out the year with a 28-27 win, making it 20 straight years of domination over their rival Kathleen.